afternoon, everyone, and welcome to ESPN Plus's presentation of college football this afternoon. We're coming to you live from the ICCU Dome in Pocatello, Idaho, on the campus of Idaho State University. After a three-game opening season trip, the Bengals finally get their home opener this afternoon. I'm Scott Gross, the voice of the Bengals, joined by former ISU linebacker Cody Graves. And Cody, man, I'll tell you, it does seem like a while since ISU's been and played a home game and this late into the season, but they're happy to be home for sure.
Home sweet home, back in Pocatello where it's always sunny and 75. Cody Hawkins, Idaho State Bengals have to be pumped to be back home after that long stretch on the road.
A tough 0-3 start. We're going to show you some highlights and so forth of the first three games here in just a moment or two. But you know, it's a very interesting game today for Idaho State, an FCS program, Big Sky Conference, Lincoln University. They're kind of in the ether, if you will. They're in their fifth year of playing football. They have not had success in home games. So one that on paper the Bengals should win and probably win easily. Fair enough?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. A team that's early on in its existence, that's 3-42 as a team since starting in 2021. It's a game that you hope to win, but like you say, it's college football. You never know what's going to happen. Idaho State's got to come ready to play.
Let's take a look at the highlights in their first three. On August 23rd, it was ISU opening on 0 week, and they played in the Allegiant Center down in Las Vegas, took on the USC. And quite honestly, that was a game that the Bengals had a great opportunity to win. As we can take a look at some of the action. Okay, so Bengals there. Mason Young really kind of got things started with that. He forced a fumble at the end zone, as the quarterback was about to go in. Bengals went down and scored on a trick play. That was that throwback from Mike Shulikov to Jordan Cook, and that really kind of got that game going. But again, one of those tough situations where ISU, they just couldn't hold it. They had a lead in the fourth quarter, but it just didn't work out for them, and they lost 38-31.
Yeah, and you heard Cody Hawkins talk this week about, perform. Would you rather have overperformed? Got blown out at the end. Best game. Situation where they need to close the game out.
Then they had that game in Southern Utah that really got away from them, and then of course the tough loss 2 weeks ago. And if you take a look, here's the Big Sky Conference schedule today. A couple of games underway. Montana, with about 12 minutes to go at home, they are beating Indiana State 56-13. You see
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to midfield where our Bengal team captains. We're proud to be joined by today's honorary captains, Bo Simmons and Jared Wilson from Bournemouth Medical Center.
keep an eye as the Bengals will come out in their white today. White helmets with the orange logo, orange jerseys with the white numerals trimmed in black, and the white pants with the piping down the side. And Lincoln in their all whites with the maroon helmets. And it's the Lincoln Oaklanders, as they are a small school in Oakland, California. As we said, their head coach Desmond Gums has been the guy that really started the program and the whole athletic department. He's also not only the head football coach, but the athletic director as well.
Yeah, the president of the university had a prior relationship to Desmond Gums. Brought him on to start an athletic program and said, hey, we need a football coach. We don't have the money to pay one. So Desmond Gums initially came on as the head coach, as a volunteer. And, you know, it hasn't been great so far, but a really cool story as far as being selfless and not taking payment just to get a football program started at a university. And a football program's not cheap.
No, it's not, and that's why they play these games, and they play out on the road, and they've never played a home game. Their last win came back in 2022, as a matter of fact. That was over Hilbert College on October the 14th, and Lincoln won that game 70-0. And there's head coach Desmond Gums. We talked about him. I had a chance to meet him and chat with him this afternoon. A good guy. He's got some good intentions, and trying to build something, or actually adding softball to their program here in the next year or so. They've got, that would give them 6 sports at Lincoln, and they're hoping to get to 14 at some point and petition the NCAA to maybe even join the Big Sky Conference.
Yeah, and say what you want. They have a successful soccer team already in its youth, and as an AD, he hired Gary Payton to be the head coach for the basketball team. You know, he's not there now, but at one point hired Gary Payton to coach their basketball team.
And Gary Payton took a lot of money out of his own pocket
to
pay for uniforms and travel and meals and stuff for the team. So it's been interesting at Lincoln University, but they're here today. They're ready to take on the Idaho State Bengals, and we're glad to have you along. And it'll be Mason Lindberg who has been handling the kickoff duties for Idaho State. Again, Bengals in the white helmets and pants, orange jerseys with the white numerals trimmed in black. Lincoln in the all whites with the maroon numerals and helmets, the numerals trimmed in gold. They've got kind of a silver pant, I guess, more than white. Here's Lindberg's kick, and Mason Lindberg's kick lands at the back of the east end zone here at the ICCU Dome, and we are underway here as it'll be Rob Brazil, we believe, bringing out this Oaklander offense. We really have very limited information. We hope to have all the names and numbers correct for Lincoln. Across the line, it's Kareem Sai, Omega Williams, Robert Galeana Velasquez, Jesus Cianaga Alonso. The wide receiver is Trey Dimmings, Diego Rojas, Seth Maldonado, Chase Cross. Occasionally, Diego Rojas is the tight end. Running backs, we should see L. Arnold and Jalen McCray, and already we got a whistle, and something wasn't right, and it's going to be a quick timeout taken. And let's take a look at our Jeremiah Johnson Brewing Company keys to the game this afternoon, Cody. And it's pretty easy. I mean, for Lincoln, they got to find a way to turn the ball over, right?
Yeah, and I don't think winning the turnover battle will be enough to win this game if you're Lincoln. I think you have to win the turnover margin in a big way and get them early and often, and get this crowd out of it, and get Idaho State on their heels a little bit.
And for the Bengals, they got to be cool.
Yeah, be cool, play with composure. Some of these games where, Lincoln plays on the road every week, and they can get frustrated. They're a team that's known to play through the whistle, after the whistle, but Idaho State's got to keep their composure. Don't be the second man to retaliate, because guess what? If you retaliate and you're in the second half, you're missing the first half of the next game against Northern Colorado.
Ball on the near hash. The Oaklanders moving right to left. Here's a little toss pitch, and that's going to go to the former Bengal, Jalen Henderson, and he's going to be drugged down at around the 31, 32-yard line, and coming up to make the play for Idaho State. I got to double check that. Was that 8 that I saw there? Yeah, it was Taylor Tuioti. Came up to make the tackle. So a good start for the senior linebacker. It'll be a gain of 7, so let's go with a 2nd down and 3 here for the Oaklanders. Defensively for the Bengals, Makatua Koi, Colin Lewis, Jake East, Cameron Willis across that defensive front. Taylor Tuioti, Nathan Reynolds, your linebackers. As they take the snap on 2nd down, Pump fake, and now Brazil wants to run. He's going to get the first down out across the 35 to the 36. And that was Bronson Childs who made the tackle for the Bengals. Rest of that Bengal defense, Gabe Tahir, Noah Kalaikai. I met his grandparents today pregame, and they corrected me on the pronunciation. So Noah Kalaikai will be a corner. Then you'll see Rylan Leathers, Mason Young, and then the nickelback, Trey Shorty, the true freshman. And let's talk about Gabe Tahir quickly. He's here on the near side. He is the Marcus Jackson honoree this week for his play 2 weeks ago. He will be wearing number 25 today. Gabe Tahir, the transfer out of Boise State. Here's a handoff into the middle of the line, and tackle made out there by the Bengals after a short gain. Running back there was number 35, and again, that's going to be Darrell Davis Jr. Maka Tuakoi got the stop.
You go back to Gabe Tahir wearing 25. Well-deserved. He played very well against New Mexico, not only in coverage where he was locked down and made some big plays, but in run support as well.
So second down, we're going to call it 7 here for Lincoln from their own 39-yard line. Pump, pass, near side. It's going to be caught, and breaking into the secondary is the receiver, and that is going to be, it says 8 is Owen Meister. He's also their punter. I don't believe that's the same guy that I saw punting earlier, so we've got our first kind of number discrepancy and name discrepancy here.
And if you're Idaho State defense right now, I mean, the same problems as we saw early on in the season where playing well in stretches, but when they would give it up, it would be missed tackles and bad angles, and so far you're seeing it from Idaho State's defense in this first drive.
That was 9, not 8, so that is Trey Deming. So not a mistake by the team, mistake by me. I'll own it. And on first down, it's another pass completion for Rob Brazil. This time he finds Seth Maldonado for his first catch of the afternoon. Gang tackled out there by Kalaikai, Reynolds, and Tuioti. Bengals getting after it, but Brazil and this Oaklanders offense moving the football here early on. They got a second down, and let's call it 4 to go from the Bengal 31. Once again out of the shotgun. Brazil takes his time. Long snap count. Now claps his hands, and the handoff goes inside. And that's Darrell Davis Jr. He's going to gain a yard. Let's make it 2. Bronson Childs gets the stop. But it's going to be a manageable 3rd down and 2. And actually, let's change that up. That tackle was made by Bo Jakes. Cody, what are you seeing here early on for ISU defensively?
Defensively, just coming out a little flat, but that's fairly normal coming off a bye week. I remember coming off bye weeks, and the first time you just hit pads because you take it pretty light during bye week, not a lot of contact, and you're seeing maybe just getting warmed up back to playing games again.
So it'll be 3rd down and 2. Bengals need a stop. Brazil on the run, hitting the backfield, and ISU will get the stop. And the sack is going to be credited to who? I believe that is Taylor Tuioti. No, it's not. That's going to be Jackson Irwin, the backup linebacker out there. Jackson Irwin out of Huntington Beach, California, spun him down for a loss. So now 4th down and 4. We don't believe much of a kicking game for the Oaklanders, so it looks like they're going to go for it here deep in Bengal territory.
From what we heard, it's always 4-down territory no matter where they are on the field.
So here we go, 4th down. Bengals defense needs to stop, get the ball back here. Scoreless first quarter, 9:50 to go. Here is a run off the right side, and nothing there. The Bengals defense stiffens. And it looked like Nate Reynolds was the guy who made the initial contact, and then he got some help as well out there from Rylan Leathers. And also, let's see, that's Frank Kissick. We have not seen Kissick a whole lot this year, but gets in there to make a play. So, Bengals get the ball 1st and 10. Davis Harson will start at quarterback. We expect to see maybe a little bit of Jordan Cook later, maybe a series or so. And the first play will be a handoff. And that goes to Carson Sudbury. We also hope to see Dason Brooks today. Davis Moye, Ramirez Garcia, Rashid across that offensive line for Idaho State. And here's another handoff to Carson Sudbury. Youngster out of South Jordan, Utah, just a redshirt freshman. Bengals going quick here.
You're going to see Idaho State go quickly on the offensive side of the ball. Lack of depth with Lincoln and their whole team. You tire them out early.
3rd and down, then 2. Here is Sudbury, and he'll make the line there and get across the 40 to the 42. That's going to be the first MACU first down of the day. Mountain America Credit Union helping guide members through life's financial journeys and donating $50 to Operation Worm in East Idaho for every Bengal first down. Once again, they go to Sudbury, and Sudbury powers his way out across the 45 to the 49. It'll be a gain of 7 and bring up 2nd down and 3. And boy, you're right, Cody. They're not giving the Oaklanders a chance to breathe. Harson out of the gun, steps up, double wides to either side. Now Sudbury on his right hip, ball on the near hash. Bengals move left to right. 8:20, clock ticking. First quarter, no score here from the ICCU Dome. Here's a pitch to Sudbury, bobbled it, got it back, puts his head down, and it looks like he's going to make the first down marker there.
To the Lincoln 48 and a first.
Off the heezy, bounced right off his helmet. Carson Sudbury was not ready for that pitch from Davis Arson. Gets it out early.
Isaiah Robinson making the stop there, but that's another MACU first down. Bengals into Oaklander territory. First down, first throw of the day. Down the sideline, Shulikov, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Idaho State, 48 yards. And that is an ICCU touchdown on the hookup between Harson and Shulikov. With each touchdown scored by the Bengals, ICCU will donate $200 to the Bengal Athletic Boosters to help fund scholarships for student athletes at Idaho State. Helping members achieve success, Idaho Central Credit Union is a proud supporter of Idaho State athletics. 7:44 to go, first quarter. Bengals strike first and in a big way. And now it will be Trajan Sinatra. Here is, and it was that kick was mishandled. The ball was kicked, and now it's going to be picked up by Lincoln, and they can still return this. And that ball is into the hands of Jalen Henderson. He's looking for the sideline, and finally going to be brought down, and a suplex tackle put on out there by the Bengals. And I want to check and see, I believe that was Big Will Davis, was it not, that brought him down? So the extra point miss, that'll be the first extra point miss on the year for Trajan Sinatra, but it looked like a mishandle on the snap.
Yeah, Holder just mishandled it, and Trajan Sinatra tried to get it late, unable to make it work there, but just a little pitch party that on the return there.
Got a timeout on the field, 7:44 to go. ISU 6 and Lincoln nothing. We're back after this timeout on KISU and ESPN+. Okay, let's go 90 seconds here and then the music bumper. We got 2:05 till we come back. All good, John. Got you, buddy.
On behalf of Les Schwab Tires and Idaho State Athletics, please join us in a huge round of applause for Richard Kersley. Retired Colonel Richard Kersley began his career in the Air Force in 1971. After commissioning as a second lieutenant through Air Force ROTC at Brigham Young University. During his 30-year career, he served at various bases, amassing over 3,500 flight hours. Since retiring, he's been active in Veterans Affairs, supporting the Idaho State Veterans Home in Pocatello, the Army ROTC, the BYI, ISU, and Veteran Outreach programs.
You're good.
Has been married to his wife Sharon for 56 years. They have 5 adult children and 19 grandchildren. Once again, thank you, Colonel Kersley. All right, who wants a free Bengals t-shirt?
Gotcha. Back here at the ICCU Dome, little technical issue, and we apologize for that, but we are back. As I am Scott Gross along with Cody Graves, and that Bengal scoring drive, 6 plays, 69 yards, 2 minutes, 1 second, 48-yard hookup. You couldn't script an opening drive for the Bengals much better than that, with the exception of that mishandled extra point, Cody.
Yeah, and kind of what we expected was Idaho State was going to come out here, prove a point, lean on them. Didn't think we were going to see that much tempo from them because that was fast.
Let's see if we can take a look at the, see if we have a replay of that throw, and it was a good one, as just a straight drop back and Shulikov wide open down that near sideline. So the Bengals score first. They're up 6-0. We've got 7:44 to go here in the home opener in the first quarter. 22 rushing yards, 47 passing yards for the Bengals, 37 through the air, 7 on the ground for the Oaklanders, and it's an onside kick, and Oakland is going to, or Lincoln is going to get that. The Oaklanders come up with it. Oh, it was recovered by Idaho State. I thought I saw 42 come out of there with it from our vantage point. So the Bengals catch them by surprise, and you know, why not try it? You get, this is, we talked about this. The Bengals want to jump on these guys early, and they've done just that. And I watched ISU this week in practice on Wednesday, especially kickers working a lot on onside kicks.
Yeah, and that's one that is planned. If you're seeing on film that front line is playing 15 yards back, you just dribble it up there because they're bailing out early trying to get their blocks on their guys. So, you know, you'd always want to cheat and get out a little early. I was one of those front line guys, and I've had a couple of onsides like that happen to me when I was on the front line.
And that was Noah Kalaikai who came up with that recovery. So, again, apologize for missing that one. I thought for sure that I had seen Lincoln come out of there with it, but it's the Bengals football at their own 46. 1st and 10, ball just inside the far hash mark. And they're going to keep Davis Harsin in there at quarterback. He'll hand it off, and this is Sudbury, and Sudbury leaps over a defender, picks up big chunk of yardage. He'll pick up 8 on 1st down, and back into Oakland territory go the Bengals. So now on 2nd down again, give it off to Carson Sudbury. This time he'll gain 3 more. And Carson Sudbury racking up some numbers here in the early going. 6 carries for about 25 yards unofficially, so 4 yards a crack. Sudbury does that all day. He'll have a good one.
Look who we got in for Idaho State at running back now.
It's Dason Brooks. And here is the fake toss, and it'll be Harsin keeping that himself. He'll pick up 3 down to the Oaklander 40-yard line. First time we've seen Dason Brooks on the field since the first snap of the Southern Utah game. And good to see Dason back in there. He had that 137 yards rushing against UNLV in the opener. This time he'll get the toss, cuts it inside, spins off a man, makes it miss, battles his way forward. Going to get a yard, maybe 2, down to the 38-yard line. Pretty good read there by the Oaklanders defensively, extending that play to the near side.
Yeah, make it go horizontal, make it go flat so your guys can rally to the football, but Dason Brooks doesn't go down easy.
3rd down, call it about 6 here. Maybe 5, a long 5 at that. Once again, out of the gun is Harsin. He's going to give it on a little delay, and that's going to be Dason Brooks. Breaks it to the near side, 25-20, stays on his feet, and finally tumbles down at the 17-yard line. That's another MACU 1st down for the Bengals.
And you can see why Dason Brooks in that week 0 game against UNLV, where there weren't a lot of games, that he got the national spotlight because he looked so good against a FBS opponent that had some hype coming in.
So now we got a whistle. And what do we have?
Another timeout by Lincoln.
Wow, Lincoln's burned 2 timeouts here in the first 9.5 minutes. So it looks like we may be taking a break here. So here we go. We got a timeout on the field. 6-0 Bengals, 5:32 to go first quarter. Back after this timeout on KISU and ESPN+. Okay, thanks. Okay, hey, CJ, sorry. Apparently we never went to break on that last one. That's why we had to just jump back. So this time we can go another 90-second break and we'll be good.
ICCU has a new kind of checking account.
Thanks to you too, Lindbergh. What's that, John?
Because
oh, you're good.
Is a full-time job.
On race day, things don't always go as planned.
I have to be on my game.
Because success goes hand in hand with mental toughness.
We all face challenges. The choice to be tobacco-free is one of them.
A healthier life is right around the corner.
You decide when, we'll show you how.
Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
For every night out, there's a silver ride home. And for every silver ride, you know who to call.
Hey, John, I'm going to do a 5:29 read coming out of this break.
Oh, that super nice friend
just so you know, so don't cover any highlights.
So treat your DD to an NA drink, and let's raise a glass to the young son of heroes. Oh. Cheers to the DD.
We're coming up on the 5:29 mark here in the first quarter, which reminds us that Ideal 529, Idaho's college savings program, is up and running, and September is college savings month. And we'll tell you more after the first play here. Inside they go, Damian Morgan, 10-5, touchdown, Idaho State. And the Bengals, just like that, back on the board for the second time here this afternoon. So Idaho State now goes up 12-0. And another ICCU touchdown. So let's see here. The Bengals are going to go just for the extra point try here. The last one, snap was mishandled by Gabe Russo, who is the punter, but also the holder. And this extra point is up and good. So the Bengals lead it 13-0. And so with 5:26 left here in the first quarter, it's Idaho State 13, Lincoln nothing. We're back after this time out on KISU and ESPN+. 5:26 to go here, first half, or first quarter. Bengals up 13-0. Scott Gross, Cody Graves. And there you go, Lincoln Oaklanders. We talked about them being road warriors. They never play a home game, and boy, they started out with 3 tough ones this year, Cody.
Yeah, 3 tough ones, and offense just not getting going. Haven't thrown a passing touchdown yet. And really, in their infancy, haven't seen the offense work too well. Only have scored 20 points twice in the last 3 years, and both of those times being exactly 20 points.
And that punt goes through the end zone. And as I started to tell you just a moment ago, Ideal 529 is Idaho's 529 college savings plan with 5:26 on the clock. We'll let you know that 529 college savings plan is an ideal way to save for college, and even better is that September is college savings month. Celebrate and help you start saving. You can open an Ideal account for a loved one aged 0 to 5 in September. You have the chance to win a contribution of $529. Learn more at idsaves.org. So first down for the Oaklanders here from their own 25-yard line. Their second offensive possession of the day. They trail 13-0. Brazil back to throw. Pass tip. The diving interception. It's Mason Young. And Mason Young comes up with a huge defensive play for the Bengals. It's his first interception to go along with a fumble recovery and a forced fumble early in the season.
Hitting for the turnover cycle so far this season, he is.
Indeed he is, and a great diving effort by Mason Young on first down. Ooh. Now we're going to look to see if it's going to stand, because we're seeing a replay here on the TV side. Pass tipped, receiver went up. Boy, it's close.
It's close.
I don't, they haven't stopped the play.
Yeah, they're keeping it going.
So the Bengals will take over on offense. Staying in there, Davis Harson firing, crossing pattern. That's going to be Raiden Brown, and Raiden Brown chased out of bounds inside the 20, down at the 18-yard line. That's a gain of 17, and run out of bounds on that far sideline by Jalen McCray. Bengals once again go quickly. Single wide to the left, trips to the right. And we got a whistle and a flag down before the snap.
Maybe too many men on defense for Lincoln.
I'm kind of wondering. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well,
I saw a guy tying his shoe. I thought they were going to stop for it. Maybe some guys running in and out, but
well,
it for sure wasn't delay a game. Idaho State's going so fast.
So to avoid the penalty for too many men on the field, Desmond Gumbs has used his final timeout.
If you're tying your shoe, that's easily avoidable, just to sit down on the field. The ref will give you a timeout without having to burn one.
Let's see if we can get our officials here today.
Do you think that's the fastest someone's burned through 3 timeouts?
Wow. Yeah, in 10 minutes. Let's take a look at Idaho State, and we talked about their road. They're being out on the road, but boy, Cody, they've got some great numbers. 333 passing yards per game. Shulikov having another great season, and Ian Duarte as well.
Yeah, Ian Duarte, one of those slot receivers that gets rotated in and out, where they're all very good. Raiden Brown, Damian Morgan, who we saw score a touchdown, all of them really good. Ian Duarte, it seems like whenever he's in, he's getting the ball, and he's exciting when the ball is in his hands.
Of course, he had that 64-yard touchdown against UNLV, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So here we go, Bengals 1st and 10 from the Oaklander 18. They'll come over here to the near side. That's Aiden Garcia, and Garcia out of Salt Lake City, the redshirt sophomore. He's going to pound out about, call it about 6 yards down to the 12. Make it 2nd down and 4. Tackle on the play by Rodney Washington. And here is a run, and that's Carson Sudbury, and he gets it in.
Well, that's a highlight reel. A couple of broken tackles. What a play by Carson Sudbury.
And Carson Sudbury, if I'm not mistaken, his first rushing touchdown of his college career.
And it was an exciting one.
It really was. Yeah, Carson Sudbury on the year. Yeah, no touchdowns this year. I'm pretty sure he didn't, because he didn't really play that much. And here's the replay, and yeah, broke a tackle there, leaped over a defender, broke a tackle at the 4, drug 3 guys into the end zone, and it is a 20-0 Idaho State lead here with 4:37 to go in the first quarter. And boy, I'll tell you, if you're Lincoln, I know you're used to these sort of things. But the one thing we have said about Lincoln, Cody, is that for a lot of the games against these bigger teams, they usually stay in it for a quarter and a half or 2 quarters, but then kind of get worn down because of the lack of depth. But today, they're just getting smacked right out of the gate.
Yeah, and you saw Cody Hawkins talk about it early on this week where he goes, hey, it's not a lack of talent from the starters because they have guys that could be very good Big Sky players across the board on offense and defense. He's talked really highly about their 2 corners on the outside, and that was the reason why maybe they thought that Lincoln was going to man them up and load the box and not let ISU run against them. But yeah, it's the lack of depth, lack of resources that really show over the course of a game. But right now, Idaho State just putting it on them.
3 plays, 35 yards, 47 seconds, a 12-yard touchdown run by Carson Sudbury, and that is another ICCU touchdown. And here is Mason Lindbergh's 4th kickoff of the day, and the 3rd to go through the back of the end zone. Now the other one was the onside kick recovered by Idaho State. It set up their 2nd score of the day. As Project Filter is reminding listeners that smoking and vaping both increase the severity of respiratory diseases. You can get more information at projectfilter.org. Again, Scott Gross along with Cody Graves, and pretty good crowd here on opening day for the Bengals. It's been a long time coming here on September the 20th. But you know what? I think we've got maybe a few more than we expected. I was talking with George Casper and Erin Fisk. She's the ticket manager at the ICCU Dome. And they thought maybe 4,000 or 5,000. We're probably right about there. There's a handoff on 1st down. And picking up 3 yards there. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
As far as attendance goes, you never know what you're going to get here early on in the season, especially an Idaho State team. And if you look at it black and white, they're 0-3. And usually with the Pocatello faithful, you got to prove it before you see big attendance numbers. And with this being an unknown team, a pretty good turnout, a really good student turnout. So I got to imagine these later Big Sky games here will have a really good showing from Idaho State fans.
Darrell Davis Jr. was the man on the 1st carry, and he's going to get it again here on the handoff, and he'll be stopped shy of the 30-yard line. Bengals stack him up there. And trying to see who comes off the bottom of the pile for Idaho State. Now a little slow to get up, and then there he is. He's okay. And that is going to be who? 21, Ryland Leathers. Good to see Ryland back in. He had a little knee inflammation, kind of a bruise. I talked to him earlier this week. He's good to go, obviously. So it's going to be 3rd down here in about 6. 3 minutes, 18 seconds. Clock is ticking. Bengals up 20-0. Out of the gun, Rob Brazil leans forward, claps his hands, takes the snap, and now he's sacked. And coming in there is Maka Tuakoi. And Maka Tuakoi picking up a big sack for the Bengals.
He's one of those edge rushers along with Cameron Willis that we've seen get a lot of pressure. Cameron Willis has a couple sacks this year. Maka's been close a couple times. Good to see him finally get one.
I'm going to take a look for Tuakoi. I'm going to find him on the stat sheet here real quickly. There he is, Maka Tuakoi down here. That is his 1st sack of the year, and I thought it was. High snap into the end zone over the punter's head, and it's recovered by the Bengals for a touchdown. And is there, I thought I saw, it was Mason Young.
I think that was Aiden Garcia.
Oh, it is Aiden Garcia, 22, yeah. I thought I saw 21. I thought it was Leathers for a moment, but it was Aiden Garcia who comes out of there, and boy, the Bengals have scored now. They got a score set up by the defense. The special teams has put 6 points on the board, and it's just a total effort here right now for the Bengals as Trajan Sinatra comes on. Of course, he was the Big Sky Conference Special Teams Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. Picked it up twice already this season. Unfortunately, he's got a blemish now. He was 8 of 8 on extra point tries coming into today, but the first one this afternoon was mishandled, and that counts as a miss on Trajan. But he's hit the other 3, and with 2:21 to go here in the first, it's all Bengals here, 27-0. And let's take a look at the replay of that bad snap, and the Bengal recovery went right over Owen Meister's head, the punter. And there you go. And give Meister credit, Cody. He tried to do the right thing. He tried to kick it out of the back of the end zone for a safety, but
also you're a specialist that does put your foot on the ball as a profession, and that's what you needed there, and you couldn't get it done.
So it is a 27-0 lead for the Bengals. Another ICCU touchdown, and that's another contribution by Idaho Central Credit Union of $200 to the Bengal Athletic Boosters for athletic scholarships at Idaho State University. Mason Lindbergh, he's been a good kicker for the Bengals. Coming into the game, he had 15 kickoffs, 8 touchbacks. He's averaging 61.3 yards per kickoff, and he'll boom another one out of the east end zone here. In the first quarter, just 2:21 remaining, and Idaho State out to a big lead here of 27-0. Next week, Bengals will be back out on the road in Greeley, Colorado. We'll play Northern Arizona. The Bengals will be taking on Northern Colorado in Greeley. And we'll have that game for you. 1 p.m. kickoff, noon for the pregame with the Idaho State Coaches Show, 12:30 with the ICCU pregame show. And here is a handoff. This is Davis again, and he is swallowed up. And that will be that. So it's going to be a loss of about a yard. So make it 2nd down and 11. 2nd down and 11, this Bengal defense. You know, Cody, that first series of plays, Rob Brazil was able to get the Oaklanders offense moving down the field. But since that time, it's been the Bengal defense making play after play. Got a receiver almost lined up off sides over here on the near side. Brazil will take the snap out of the shotgun. Floats one far side, and a big hit put on over there. And the Bengals get a nice breakup.
Clean hit, is going right for the rib cage. Just turned his back and took that one in the lower back.
Yeah, that one's going to sting a little bit.
Yeah, you know how those feel. That's a good break on the ball by Mason Young. That boundary side safety.
That's Trey Dimmings who got hit there and is down. They're going to, looks for me like more than anything, maybe just kind of got his wind knocked away. Got a little timeout while they take care of him. So we'll go back to what I was talking about. Bengals next week in Greeley, Big Sky Conference opener against a team that's been playing some good football, Northern Colorado. Again, pregame show at 12 o'clock with the Idaho State Coaches Show. ICCU pregame show at 12:30. We're on the air on KISU FM at 1 o'clock with the kickoff. And Cody, not one to look past. I mean, Ed Lamb looks like he's building something in Greeley.
Yeah, and it's tough to build something there in Greeley. And Ed Lamb, great coach, built something at Southern Utah. Took some time off to be an assistant, not time off, but was an assistant over at BYU, and has turned it around. I mean, they should have beat a very good Colorado State team, and some argue that they were robbed. They score a touchdown with 12 seconds to go, and then it gets overturned. But a good team in Northern Colorado this year.
3rd down and 11, double wise to either side. Brazil back to throw, steps up, and he's swallowed up. And he'll be sacked again, and coming out of there this time for the Bengals. Looks like the man leading the charge was number 57, and I haven't got them all down. That's Frank Kissick again.
Sander Miller and Grant Hessler.
We're gonna
And
try
they said
this.
Grant Hessler in there too.
Yeah, saw Grant Hessler.
Met his grandparents before the game today. Everybody's in town for the home opener. Hessler out of Temecula, California. Ever been down there?
No, that's where all I know about Temecula, California. Actually, I think I did drive through it because I remember thinking that this is where the great Dan Henderson was from, is Temecula, California.
It gets mighty hot. Good wine country, but it gets mighty hot. Meister's punt nearly blocked. It's going to be taken, and on the return, here comes Ian Duarte, and Duarte will bring it inside the 40-yard line of the Oaklanders, and ISU will set up shop in Lincoln territory, plus 37-yard line. 37 seconds left in this opening quarter. Idaho State 27 and Lincoln 0. And we're going to have Jordan Cook in at quarterback. And Cody Hawkins mentioned this to me yesterday morning after our pregame interview. He said, I want to get Jordan in for a series or two just to see how he's doing. There's a quick fire to the far side. That's going to be caught. That's Zion Nunnally. And Nunnally with his first catch of the day, the junior out of Santa Rosa, California, got a big gain down to the 22, give him 15 yards and another MACU first down for Idaho State. The Bengals again. Up-tempo play. Cook looking over to his right, fires, and he's got his man over there. That is going to be Michael Shulikov with his second catch of the day. Nice tackle on the play there by number 5, Dago Albert. So Idaho State now with a second down and 5. I think it's 6. And that's going to do it. First quarter is in the books here. And the Bengals had a big opening, 15 minutes at home this season. They put up 27 points, and they lead Lincoln 27-0. We're back with the second quarter after this timeout on KISU FM and ESPN+. Welcome back to the ICCU Dome here on the campus of Idaho State University. Scott Gross and Cody Graves 27-0. Bengals lead it at the end of one quarter, and as you would expect, those numbers pretty much in favor of Idaho State with 177 total yards, and kind of balanced out there, Cody, with 106 through the air, and there is a pass to the end zone and 71 on the ground for Idaho State.
Yeah, balanced attack. A lot more run calls than pass calls, but when they have went to the air, it's been really successful for Idaho State, and Davis Harson's been very efficient. And now we see Jordan Cook, who was perfect until that throw, but it's good to see him back in with getting injured early on this season.
Harson was 4 of 4 for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns. And here is a pass over the middle to Ian Duarte, and Duarte will get the first down, gets the Bengals down to the 5-yard line. Another MACU first down, and it's first and goal. Idaho State just 20 seconds into this second quarter. They'll go quickly again. Brooks in the backfield behind Jordan Cook. 3 receivers out to Cook's left. That's the wide side of the field. Here's Brooks. Went left and cut back right and gets piled up after a gain of a yard at the 4-yard line. Good stop in there by Josiah Flores, number 41. So it'll be second and goal here for Idaho State. Cook, toss, Dason Brooks. Dason Brooks makes one man miss, jumps and slides by another, and Dason Brooks into the end zone, and that'll be his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. 14:06 to go here in the first half. Dason Brooks from 4 yards out, another Idaho Central Credit Union touchdown. And here comes Trajan Sinatra to try the extra point. This one on the way, and that one is good. So Sinatra boots it through, and with 14:06 left here in the first half, it's ISU 34 and Lincoln nothing. We'll be back with a drive recap after this timeout on KISU and ESPN+. Okay, we can do a 90 here. We'll be good.
Enjoy sizzling restaurant deals.
Peace of mind mobile phone protection.
Timely telehealth services.
Confidence boosting identity protection.
And clutch loan rate discounts.
Make my style your lifestyle.
At Mountain America Credit Union.
Bingham Healthcare is proud to be the #1 choice for healthcare in East Idaho.
But we didn't get here by accident.
We did it by providing excellence in everything we do.
Excellence in family care.
Excellence in orthopedics.
Excellence in weight loss.
And excellent service for everyone who walks through our doors.
See why Bingham Healthcare is the #1 choice for healthcare in East Idaho.
Bingham Healthcare. Experience excellence.
Says you made a decision.
Yeah, Idaho State Business School. Well, accounting.
What are you going to do with all that knowledge from ISU?
There's a company I'd like to help grow.
Some startup?
Back in
No.
2015.
This one already has my last name on it.
15.
I won't hold you to it.
You won't have to.
Bengals push it into the end zone again. 4-yard touchdown run by Dason Brooks. 6 plays, 37 yards, 2 minutes, 21 seconds off the clock. So 34-0. Bengals with the lead. And again, we'll see Mason Lindbergh to boot this thing away. Mason has really become the lead kickoff guy for Idaho State this year. This one is going to bounce, but it'll still get through the end zone for a touchback.
Into the end zone for a touchback.
So 34-0 here. And it will be Oakland back out, or Lincoln Oaklanders back on offense here.
If you're Idaho State, at what point do you start maybe pulling some of your major players? Because, you know, coming off a bye week, you are a little rusty, you know, and do you play them through halftime? You don't play them after halftime if you've got it in the bag. You feel confident about your 2s and 3s going out there and playing.
I really believe that, you know, Cody will have these guys in here for maybe one more series, and then we're going to see a lot of the reserve guys. Here is a pass complete to Jalen Henderson, fumbled, and it's recovered by Idaho State. And it is going to be a reception and a fumble. And Jalen Henderson, we talked about him, we're going to talk about him a little bit. Bronson Childs comes up with the recovery. I want to see a replay to see who got the hit on that far sideline. Now let's take a look here and see if we can pick it up. The ball was popped free, and it was, I don't know. I
think it was a combination of Jaden Bell and Noah
Kalaikai.
Okay. There we go, the new pronunciation. But it looked like Kalaikai was the one that put his head on the ball to get it spit out. But yeah, Jalen Henderson, the former Bengal.
Noah Kalaikai is from Austria. His father coaches the Austrian, one of the Austrian teams in the NFL or the European Football League.
Vienna Vikings.
Yep. And here is Carson Sudbury on the run, weaves through traffic, spins away from a man, pops far side, into the end zone, touchdown Idaho State. Carson Sudbury, his second rushing touchdown of the game.
And both have been highlights.
Oh boy, they have, haven't they?
Hurdles a guy on the first one. This one breaks about 2 or 3 tackles. Great downfield blocking there by Idaho State receivers. Gets him to bounce it, and he jumps from the 5-yard line and gets in the pylon.
30 yards, 1 play, 10 seconds, and the Bengals strike quick on the sudden change after the fumble recovery. They lead it now 40-0, and it will be Trey Sinatra. You'll hear us call him Trajan or Trey. Goes by either one. And as long as he puts him through the upright, I'll call him whatever he wants. Here's another look at that Carson Sudbury touchdown run. I mean, he just really got after it.
Just look at the movement that Idaho State's offensive line is getting up front. I mean, they're blocking their guys 10, 15 yards down the field.
And we've got a break. So it's 41-0 Bengals, 13:51 second quarter. We're back after this time out on KISU and ESPN+. 13:51 left here in the first half from the ICCU Dome. 41-0 Idaho State with the big lead here early on. They have not had a possession where they didn't put points on the board, and the special teams even scored 6 for them there, Cody Graves.
Yeah, and just getting turnovers defensively, putting them in good situations, scoring immediately after getting those turnovers. And talked about, you know, Coach Hawkins specifically talked about getting to a turnover threshold, you know, where you want to be a playoff team, and that number they have in their head is about 20 turnovers. They might get them all in this game.
Right. Yeah. We may get a look at that last hit. Jalen Henderson, the former Bengal, caught a pass. He was hit. Ball came out, and it was recovered by Bronson Childs. And of course, 30 seconds later, it was Carson Sudbury going in. But in the meantime, we'll let you know that this game broadcast is brought to you in part by Bear Lake Trailer Sales, offering new and used utility, cargo, and horse trailers, as well as sheds and truck beds for nearly 30 years. So here we go. Bengals with the kickoff. There was an unsportsmanlike penalty call against Lincoln after the play. So that will have Mason Lindbergh kicking off from the 50-yard line. And that kick will easily go through the end zone. And once again, it'll be the Lincoln Oaklanders taking the field here. And at some point, I mean, you kind of know what's likely to happen, right, Cody? I don't care who you are. If you're a football player, you play with pride. And when you get down like this early, it's got to be a challenge to stay up for the last 3 quarters of this one.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it, you're looking at a long game. The second quarter's just gotten started and it is 41-0. As a competitor, you'd like to get something going offensively for sure.
Here is Brazil rolling, firing, coming over here near side, wide open, and the pass is caught by Chase Cross. And that comes up, that's his 4th reception, and that's a big hitter. That's going to go for 35 yards to the Bengal 40-yard line.
Busted coverage on the rollout here to his right side. So the deep player just comes up and leaves him. There was no one within 25 yards of him.
And Bengals lucky that pass was kind of towards the sideline, because if he catches that in stride, I mean, he could have walked in, literally walked in from where he caught it. So first down here, ball on the near hash mark. Oaklanders moving now left to right. Fake the handoff, Brazil pressure, trying to throw a little screen over the middle. He's going to complete it, and that'll go to Seth Maldonado. And now one of the linemen, a little slow to get up for Lincoln. Looks like number 72. Let's see if we have him on the roster. That's Omega Williams, who was 75 on last week's roster, but today is 72 apparently. That happens with this program. They have to change sometimes they change personnel from week to week. They'll go back to Oakland, and then this team plays in Grand Rapids, Michigan on Thursday night. Now, they do fly mostly, but they do have some bus trips on these long road trips that they make, and there's a pass to the far side from Brazil intended for Trey Dimmings, and that's a little wide, incomplete, out of bounds. Stops the clock with 12:18 to go here in the second quarter.
What a cool opportunity for these kids, being on the road every week. They get to check out a new place every week.
Missouri,
they could be travel vloggers.
Yeah, they've been to Missouri, Texas, Arkansas, Idaho this week, and Grand Rapids, Michigan next week. So third down here, let's call it 4 yards to go for Rob Brazil and Lincoln. He's back to throw. Quick little hitter thrown behind his man, and still almost came into the hands of the secondary receiver. That was Chase Cross. And so that incompletion will bring up fourth down. But as we've learned already, there really is no reason to punt really almost anywhere on the field. I mean, they tried to punt, and the snap went over Owen Meister's head.
And the second punt was about a millimeter of getting blocked. I don't know if you'd want to punt the rest of the game if you're Lincoln. Maybe try scoring every time.
4 receivers out into the pattern. Cross on the near side. Jalen Henderson, one of the 2 on the far side, and pass over here to the near side to Chase Cross, too high and incomplete, and that'll stop the clock. It's a turnover on downs, and with 12:11 to go in the first half, 41-0 Bengals. We're back after this timeout on KISU and ESPN+.
In the heart of Montana's untamed wilderness, a legend is brewing.
Okay, we can go.
Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky Conference.
You guys can go ahead and make this 2 minutes. They got started just a second late.
Brewed with the rugged spirit of the West.
I got 2 minutes, 10 seconds
Jeremiah
left
Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer.
All right. Just making sure.
Do well.
The first one, John told us we were 2 minutes into.
We never set out to be the largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest. We just wanted to be the best. But we forgot that being the best means more guests wanting more action, more jackpots, more big-name entertainment, more pedicures. Well, more everything. Until one day, you look up and realize, we need a new hotel tower. The new River Tower, to be exact. Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. Now the largest. And yes, still the best.
From the snowy peaks of the Rocky Mountains to the Golden Coast in the Pacific Northwest, we've blazed our own path forward. We've climbed to the highest peaks. We've reached this summit despite all odds stacked against us. Through consistent hard work and fiery competition on the field of play and in the classroom, we've held each other to a standard worthy of our namesake. We are the Big Sky Conference, where experience is elevated.
Scott Gross along with Cody Graves. Bengals up 41-0, 12-11 left here in the first half of play. As Idaho State will take over after forcing a turnover on 4th down. Bengals have it 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line, near hash mark. Jordan Cook stays in. Trying to see officials blocking, but I believe that's Jordan Cook staying in at quarterback for Idaho State, and it is Dason Brooks in the backfield. 3 receivers bunched over here to the near side. He'll give it to Brooks. Dason hesitates, now pops outside. He's at the 40, 45, 50, down the far sideline, 40, 35, and knocked out of bounds at the 28-yard line. That'll go for 38 yards and an MACU first down. And boy, you saw some of that speed from Dason Brooks that time.
Yeah, and you saw some IQ there, knowing that outside defender had leverage, and he kind of fakes up in the middle, makes that outside defender commit in, and once he did, he just popped it out to the outside and saw a lot of open space.
From the 28 of Lincoln, little flare pass, and it's going to be a quick hitter. It looks like Damian Morgan with the catch. Penalty flag goes down on that far sideline as well. And let's see what we have. It was Dame Morgan with the catch there, his second of the day. Got an illegal downfield by the Bengals, so that'll back them up 5 yards. And there's that long run by Dason Brooks, and boy, you're right. He gets those big thighs a pumping, and the afterburners kicked in, and he's going to be hard to catch.
Yeah, arm tackles will not bring down Dason Brooks in the open field.
So let's make it 1st and 15, and here's Brooks. Brooks outside, back inside, and with a little bit of a stiff arm to cut back inside. Nice pickup down to the 16-yard line. And that's another 17-yard gain, and that's another Mountain America Credit Union first down. Ball near hash, 1st and 10. Bengals at the 16 of Lincoln. Jordan Cook in at quarterback for his second series this afternoon. Floating it, back of the end zone, up high. Shulikov, he can't come down with it inbounds. It'll be incomplete. Tell you what, I mean, at 6'6", and you're a quarterback like Jordan Cook at 6'4", nothing better than having a big guy like that you know all you got to do is put air under the ball.
Yeah, and with Shulikov being 6'6" and how high he can jump, just give him a shot there. Maybe had a shot to catch it, but put it up in the air a little bit shorter, let Shulikov hold some space, and just make it a jump ball.
To be fair, there was good coverage by Lincoln on Michael Shulikov there. So it will be the Bengals with a first down. There was a 5-yard maybe encroachment penalty there. So here's an inside pass to Zion Nunnally. Catch, spin, and across the goal line, Zion Nunnally, his first touchdown of the season. And the Bengals get another ICCU touchdown and lead it 47-0. We got 10:51 left here in the first half. And out comes Trajan Sinatra. Man, the kickers today between Lindbergh and Sinatra, they're gonna have to ice their legs at the end of this one. There is the extra point. That's between the pipes. And another good drive by the Bengals. 3 plays, 66 yards, a minute 20. And a big run by Dason Brooks. But what a nice job by Zion Nunnally to break a couple of tackles there, Cody.
Yeah, and they were trying to tackle him in the end zone, still stayed on his feet.
Well, kind of what we expected here this afternoon. Maybe a little more than some.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at 11 minutes left here in the second quarter. Good news is
here's a reverse look here at that touchdown. Nunnally caught that at about the 7 and really battled his way across the goal line. So here we go. It will be Mason Lindbergh to kick it away. So Lindbergh approaches, toe to leather. This one might be returnable, and it will be from about a yard deep in the end zone. And he will not make the 15. And now the ball came out on the tackle. And let's see if Idaho State has picked up the ball. It was returned by Chase Cross. The officials say yes. Justin Robinson is our referee today. The Bengals knock it loose. Turnover number 3 on the day by Lincoln. And here's a replay of this, and let's see who can get the hit. Pretty sure that was Chase Cross, 18 on the return. And it was. And at about the 11-yard line, he got hit. And if I can see who that is, it was the first guy in. And it looked like 88 maybe? I don't know, I couldn't tell. But nonetheless, the Bengals have the ball. They lead it 48-0. We've got 10:43 to go here in the first half. And now Idaho State first and goal at the Lincoln 11-yard line. Brooks in the backfield. Davis Harson back in at quarterback. Goes far side. Michael Shulikov bobbles and said he was out of bounds when he pulled it in. He got bumped. Yeah, and I'd like to see a replay of that one.
He didn't catch it the first time.
Right. And let's take a look. We've got a replay here. And we can't. Hey. I tell you what, I think somebody might want to buzz down and look at that one, but they don't. It's going to be thrown this time to the far side. And do any flags fly there? No. Some incidental contact. Pass intended on the far side for Aiden Garcia. Now the problem is, from that replay that we had, we couldn't see the entire sideline.
Yeah,
right.
If he was out of bounds before those initial feet are definitely in bounds when he makes the catch, but did he go out before that? We don't know.
So 3rd and 10 for ISU from the Oaklander 11-yard line after the fumble on the kickoff. Harsin into the back of the end zone, and that time it got knocked away. Ian Duarte cannot haul that one in. So do we see Trey Sinatra try to go 6 for 6 on the season on field goal tries, or do the Bengals just say, look, we're going to go for it. If we get it, great. If we don't, well, got Lincoln pinned back inside their own 15-yard line. Shulikov out to the far side. Garcia and Morgan and Zion Menley here to the near side. Harsin with an hour and a half to throw. This time back of the end zone. Shulikov, touchdown, Idaho State. Shulikov with his second TD reception of the afternoon and another ICCU touchdown. And well, I'll tell you what, the Bengals offense clicking now. That's already pushing 300 yards of total offense, and we've got 10.5 minutes to go in the first half. Got a new man kicking here. Let's check and see. It's Mason Lindbergh, the left footer. Mason Lindbergh puts through the extra point. Here's another look at that touchdown throw to Shulikov, and boy, a big mismatch there. I mean, the guy that was on him, number 12, Halim Butler, don't have heights and weights on this, but taking a look at that, Butler's probably 6'1", 6 foot maybe, and you got Shulikov at 6'6".
Even if you're a tall corner at 6 foot 6'1" at this level, he's a mismatch where, you know, where whoever you put on him. And right then, I mean, it almost looked like Idaho State wanted to keep firing at Shulikov because those two have been jawing at each other a little bit over the drive and didn't come out on top on 2 of the plays that drive, and they went right back to him on that 4th down, and there Shulikov was getting the last laugh.
Here's the other question. You talked about when do you bring in some of your reserve guys, take the number 1s out. The other question is, when does Cody Hawkins say, okay, we're going to run it on every down, we're going to keep the clock going? You know what I mean? You would think at some point you would probably see that. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, running clock. I mean, you can't, if you can't stop the run, you can't stop someone from putting up points.
Well, no,
because you can't go half speed. And really, the only positive for Lincoln right now is that they can't stop the clock because Desmond Gums burned all 3 of his timeouts in 7 minutes. So that's the only good news about the clock still running. But they have to, at some point, they gotta decide to just run the ball and run the clock.
Right. Absolutely. So the Lincoln Oaklanders will come back out here trailing it now 55-0. That last scoring drive, 4 plays, 11 yards, 15 seconds. Harsin to Shulikov from 11 yards out for the score. Here's Brazil rolling out over here to the right side, and he gets banged out of bounds hard. And Rob Brazil out just shy of the 30-yard line, and it was Rylan Leathers who came over and said, well, don't run this way.
Oh, and you see Rylan Leathers, the first part of the season, you see someone flashing across the screen from 15 yards deep, pretty good chance it's going to be number 21.
How about Rylan Leathers? I mean, this kid is something. A 6', 188-pound redshirt freshman. He's 4th in the nation in total tackles per game, 2nd in the Big Sky Conference. I mean, he's got all kinds of accolades, already a Big Sky Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Here's Brazil on a 2nd down snap, and that pass incomplete to the far side. Trying to get it over there to Chase Cross. Trey Shorty, the true freshman nickelback. You know, the upside, we were talking, one of the things Cody Hawkins and I spoke about off camera or off microphone yesterday after his pregame interview was, you know, talking about portal and things like that. And he's very confident that a guy like Trey Shorty will stay because you know, yeah, you can have one great season, but to really cash in the portal on the NIL side, you really need to have a couple of years. And so, you know, Cody's pretty confident as we take a look. Let's take a look at this scoring summary this afternoon. It's all Bengals. And, man, I'll tell you what, Mike Shulikov got it started, then Damian Morgan, Carson Sudbury on the ground, Aiden Garcia on the recovery after the bad snap on the punt, Dason Brooks a 4-yard run. And they've done it almost every way you can. Sudbury, both of his runs have been highlight film worthy. Zion Nunnally and now Shulikov for his second of the afternoon. So the Bengals getting it done.
I doing some stat padding.
Well,
not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
It's not a bad thing. It's really not. Look,
they're playing the
it's
game.
like Cody said. You got to play whoever's in front of you, right? Lincoln's on the schedule this week. Now, is it going to be that easy next week in Greeley? Well, absolutely not. But at least you've got some confidence building. I was trying to see who that was that went off on that far sideline. Let's see if I can get the glasses on. One of the Lincoln linemen banged up. And it looks like 75, which originally was Omega Williams, but they also had a 72 out there they said was Omega Williams. Let's see if they changed it. Marquise Cooper, number 75, is the Oaklander that was hurt. Sits alone on that bench on the far side. And we got a whistle and stoppage of play here. It's 3rd down and 11. And you would think that's got to be a false start on Lincoln. And again, Justin Robinson is our white hat today. And it is indeed another penalty on the Oaklanders. That will be the 3rd penalty for 25 yards on the afternoon against Lincoln out of Oakland, California. So 3rd down and 11 here. Rob Brazil make it now 3rd down and 16. Got to get it out to the 35-yard line. Line of scrimmage is the Oaklander 19. Single setback on the right hip of Brazil. Takes the snap. Pressure coming. Brazil pops out of it. Now gets free. Thinks about running. Will run. And he'll get to the far sideline and be pushed out of bounds there at the 30-yard line. And pushed out of bounds by the Bengals. That's Irwin Jackson. You know, Irwin Jackson has gotten some time because of the injury to Junior DeMooney, who was hurt, first game?
Yeah, UNLV.
Yeah, he got hurt at UNLV. And he's another one of those guys. Maybe you see him later in the season. We'll have to wait and see. Kind of a tough deal for Junior, but Irwin Jackson has filled in nicely. And here is Owen Meister. This time he gets the punt away. And it will be fielded by Duarte at the 34. Cuts it back inside. Duarte stays on his feet. He's at the 50, looking for blocks. He's got him on the near side. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Idaho State. Flag on the play back at the 35-yard line.
And they're going to call holding on ISU here.
A 66-yard punt return will go for naught. As that will come back, we would believe, on a hold on the Bengals.
And it was the punter.
Noah Kalaikai is going to get dinged for a hold. But the Bengals nearly had their first punt return of the season. And unfortunately, it goes by the by. Idaho State will have the ball at the 45-yard line of Lincoln.
And you see the replay here. It'll be the punter on this near side. Almost looked like he was grabbing on to Kalaikai, but you're going to have to see. Yeah, I don't know. That's
kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. 1st down. Harsin back in at quarterback for the Bengals. Fires, and he's got his man on the run. Is that Damian Morgan? No, it's Raiden Brown, and he's in for 6. Touchdown, Idaho State.
I was going to say it doesn't matter. I think Idaho State's going to score on this play, and but I didn't want to seem negative.
No, I understand. As Raiden Brown picks up the touchdown for Idaho State, another ICCU touchdown. And things going the Bengals' way here for sure.
I know that you're going to somewhat call the dogs off. I don't know when, but just looking at the time and looking at the score, anybody watching has got to wonder if we're on 100 watch here.
Well, it's 62-0, and we still have 8.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. 62-0. By the way, that was Trey Sinatra who came in on that extra point try that time after the last one was kicked by Mason Lindbergh. We're just going to take a look. Yeah, that is the first touchdown of the year for Raiden Brown. And Raiden is he's a great kid. He really is. I mean, he works hard. He loves playing football here. He's a redshirt sophomore out of Long Beach, California.
Yeah, and we mentioned early on, no shortage of slot receivers for Idaho State. Raiden Brown, super exciting when the ball's in his hands. Damian Morgan, really excited when the ball's in his hands. Ian Duarte, you saw on that punt return what he can do with the ball in his hands. I mean, you don't lack that.
Actually, I'm going to stand corrected. They say that Damian, that's his second touchdown. And you know, the other guy we haven't seen much the last 2 games, the transfer out of Baylor, Jonah Burton, is in the slot as well.
Yeah, and not dressed down for this game, but when we've seen him, he's another one. He could arguably be the best of them. Just a little more experienced, a little older.
Jonah Burton he's also a little different build for a slot receiver. He's got a lot of upper body strength, strong kid.
And again, that might just be years in the weight room. I mean, he played at Baylor, and some of these guys might get that way. I mean, looking at Damian Morgan, he's built a little less wiry than the other two.
Yeah, and Damian did have, like I said, he had a touchdown, but for Raiden, that is his first touchdown of the season. So here comes Lincoln back out offensively. On the day, I'm trying to take a look at total plays if I can find them. 24 plays for Lincoln. This will be number 25, and it's going nowhere as Davis wrapped up in the backfield. He'll fall forward eventually for a yard, but a bunch of Bengals back there with hands on him, and it was Cam Willis who led the way with the initial contact. So a gain of 1, it'll be 2nd down and 9. We haven't talked about Cam Willis much today, but the Bengals also haven't been pass rushing a whole lot today, and that's where we're going to hear his name, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and he's been a star for this Idaho State defense as far as making big plays. He's got 4.5 tackles for loss, a couple of sacks, and caused a big fumble there at New Mexico. He's just a big play, explosive. Isn't built like a true edge, but man, his speed rush is very impressive.
2nd down and 9. Rob Brazil looks to throw, rolls out to the right, now lofts it up. He's got a man in the middle of the field. That's Darrell Davis, his running back, kind of his safety valve, but it's going to be good. Out to the 38-yard line, give him a gain of 12, and that's a 1st down for the Oaklanders, their 4th of the day. Yep, just kind of found a gap over there with the pressure coming on Brazil when he came out of the pocket. Heads up play by Brazil and by Davis.
And with that amount of pressure, you have to have a quarterback that can make things happen on the run, because you almost thought it was a screen pass how fast Cameron Wills got back there.
Pair of receivers to either side. Ball on the near hash mark here as Brazil works out of the gun on 1st and 10. Brazil this time flushed. He rolls out. Now he's trying to throw it deep. He's trying to get it to Jalen Henderson, but out of bounds on the far sideline, incomplete. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. Stops the clock at 6 minutes, 52 seconds. The Idaho Transportation Department reminds Bengal fans that when taking eyes away from driving for just 5 seconds, a person has traveled the length of a football field without seeing the road. And we've got a couple of players down, one on each side. The Bengal here on the near side looks to be Jackson Irwin. That's Jackson Irwin. Let's take a look at some scores from around the Big Sky. 63-20, Montana, big win over Indiana State. The Sycamores traveled a long way to Missoula. Montana State 17-0. What's Incarnate Word doing? They're in a battle with Northern Arizona. It's a matchup of top 20 teams. As Northern Arizona has a slim 5-point lead over Incarnate Word, 21-16. The one I want to see is Idaho and San Jose State tied at 21 apiece. Let's see how much. Yeah, third quarter of that game. Western Illinois is trailing Eastern Washington in Cheney, 8-0. Cal Poly Stephen F. Austin doesn't kick off till 8 o'clock our time. And Houston Christian hosting Northern Colorado, and the Bears down just a point in that one, 7-6. Early going. So with 6 minutes, 52 seconds remaining here, it's all Idaho State, 62-0. Jackson Irwin was helped off. It looked to me like they were looking at a shoulder or maybe an elbow. It wasn't lower body anyway, from what we could see. Jaden Bell showing some pressure up on that defensive line. Really 5 linemen up there now for the Bengals. As Brazil fires a pass out here to the near side. Jalen Henderson with a catch. It'll be a gain of about 3 yards. Out, make it 4 from the 38 out to the 42-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Maybe that's where you find some success if you're Lincoln right here, is get the ball to your best player, that is Jalen Henderson. You know, but when is it going to wear on him? Because he plays defense, and the defense has been out there, well, I would say quite a bit, but the drives have been short on defense for Lincoln.
Henderson, 4 catches in the 21 season, or 4 games, 20 receptions, 254 yards, a touchdown. He returned kicks, he returned punts for Rob Finnessy and the Bengals that year. Here is pressure coming. Brazil lets it fly, and it's intercepted. Coming back the other way, that looks like Trey Shorty. Is it 23? He was knocked down. Oh, it's 24.
Nigel Richards?
No. Let's see, number 24 for the Bengals. It says it's Isaiah Cook. So one of the reserve guys in there. Nigel Richards is number 2.
Oh, yeah. Nigel Richards 24 last year?
He was. He changed his number. He took Tyler Bohannon's number when Tyler graduated. So we'll give Cook credit for the interception. Let's look at the replay and see. Brazil's pass just overthrown. Then it was tipped.
Tipped by Jaden Bell there at linebacker.
Yeah, and that is Cook coming up the near sideline. So a nice interception return. 4th turnover of the day, I believe, now by the Oaklanders. And here is a pass. Harsin to the end zone, knocked up, knocked away. Good defense that time by the Oaklanders.
Pass is intended.
Looking for Shulikov.
Defended by number 12. Multiple flags on the play.
Flags all over the place here on that play. So let's see what we have. So it's an illegal substitution penalty against Lincoln. And that's a 5-yarder, and it'll make it 1st down and 5. That pass defended by Halim Butler.
It's been a battle out there between those two, and if you're Davis Harsin, like we talked about, it's fine underthrowing it, but put a little more air on those ones.
Here's a pass to the near side, and that's Aiden Garcia. Man, he is just bullying his way down the sideline. And so Garcia with another MACU 1st down. Bengals have it 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Wanted to mention Brett Spencer. First time we've seen him, he was in the backfield on that snap. He split wide to the far side of the field. He stays in there this time. Harsin at quarterback. Bengals with the ball at the 8. Get a pass. That's going to be Raiden Brown, and he dives across the goal line. And did he get in? the officials talking about it. I haven't seen an indication yet. Maybe, did he step out of bounds?
Sending out the PAT team.
Well, I saw no indication, but apparently
hey,
touchdown Idaho State.
Old news. Old news.
It was Raiden Brown with his second consecutive touchdown on the afternoon. Consecutive possessions, and it's now 68-0 Bengals with 5:23 to go here in the first half. And again, it'll be Mason Lindbergh in to kick the extra point. And we got a whistle and got some movement. That you would think would be a false start on the Bengals. And do they want to? They're pointing the Bengals side. It's an offside penalty against. So the penalty is declined, and the Bengals will retry it. Matt Sabady, number 31, in there is the holder now. We've seen Gabe Russo for the most part, but Sabady, first time we've really had a chance to call his name, a senior out of Gainesville, Texas. Holds, and the swing of the leg by Mason Lindbergh, and that ball through the uprights, and we've got 5:23 left here in the first half. 69-0, Bengals on top. And I wanted to look, turnovers, 4 turnovers have resulted in 20 Bengal points here this afternoon, but you know, this is one of those ones, Cody, where there's going to be a lot of numbers put up for Idaho State. They're going to go have everything in the statistical column looking great.
Yeah, before that touchdown, it was in school history the 4th highest output of points by Idaho State in a full game, and it goes without saying that it's the most Idaho State offense has ever put up before halftime, and that was at 62.
Yeah, we're going to have to peruse the record book here at halftime and see what's what. But Bengals are cranking out the yards, 368 yards. Now, you got to remember, they scored 1 touchdown with no yardage, basically on the block punt, recovered in the end zone, but they've also had a lot of short fields. Here is a kick going to be fielded, and it's going to be Chase Cross on the return. He'll get out across the 25, but then he is surrounded and dropped by a bevy of Bengals out at the 27. Trajan Sinatra, how about this guy? Big Sky Special Teams Player of the Week 2 weeks ago, also in week 1. He has really a great story coming here, as a transfer from a junior college, and he really has fit in and has become kind of the guy as far as the kicking duties go.
Yeah, and he's been nails. You saw him hit 50-plus yarder. What was it, a 56? 56 yarder.
Yep.
Against New Mexico, and he's been nails. PATs, other than the botched hold, really, they've been perfect.
5 of 5 on field goals this year. The Bengals have hit 22 straight going back to 2 years ago. Missed at Portland State. Thomas Kopcho.
Man.
There is a play, a running play coming over here to the near side, stretched out.
Number 13, the carry.
And the carry that time for the Oaklanders was Mackay Guy. And no gain, as he was just stretched out and pushed out of bounds over here on the Bengal side of the field, the near side of the ICCU Dome Cascia Field playing surface. 4 minutes, 45 left here in the first half. Bengals up 69-0. Bengals jump, but there was movement and no call, and now they're going to call it.
Yeah, it was.
And I believe the right or the left tackle flinched.
I think he flinched after.
You may be right.
And then it was a free alley at the quarterback there.
It looked like Makatuakoi is the guy who got into the neutral zone, but they are gonna say it was a false start. So that'll back Lincoln up. Nope, they're gonna move it the other way. I thought they were taking the ball, but he was picking up the flag. Yep. So it is offsides. That'll probably go to Tuakoi. So first down, or make it second down and 5 here for Lincoln. 4 minutes, 35 seconds. Clock ticks down. Brazil once again out of the gun with a single receiver to his right. A pair out to the left. Ball on the near hash. Taking their time. Brazil's pass almost picked off, and then it came into the hands of his receiver. That is Seth Maldonado. I believe that's his 3rd catch of the afternoon. Yep, 3rd catch of the day, and that's good for a chunk play out to the 48-yard line. First down for Lincoln. I'm not sure halftime can come quick enough here. We've got a timeout for a player. They said an injury. I'm not. Oh, right here it's Jaden Bell here on the near side. And he's up quickly and looks like he's going to be all right.
Yeah, halftime couldn't come quick enough for Lincoln. It's almost now where any incompletion or when you run the ball and the player doesn't stay in bounds, you just go down, stay in bounds.
Right.
Let this clock run.
It'd be a very interesting conversation to hear Cody Hawkins and the staff in the Bengal locker room at halftime, kind of what the message will be. I'm sure a lot of it's going to be, hey, we got to keep fighting, right? We got to keep executing properly and do all the little things right. But also, there's probably going to be some talk of that, right? Stay in bounds. Whatever we can do to keep the clock running. Because the Bengals want to get out. That's right. They want to expedite it, get done quickly, avoid maybe a fewer plays, less chance of somebody getting banged up. But you got to go to Greeley and open Big Sky Conference play next week. So it's going to be first down here for Lincoln from their own 48. Again, ball near hash. 3:40 and the clock moves. Bengals show some pressure up front. Looking like maybe a blitz off this right side. Now they'll back it off a little bit. Brazil, this time it's a pistol formation. Brazil wants to throw, and Brazil backpedaling, and he's in all kinds of trouble. Finds a man at his own 40 and then swallowed up. And a nice play out there by Idaho State. And that's Frank Kissick again, 57. That pass was completed to Jacob Zarek. Actually ends up being a loss of 3. Well, we mentioned halftime, and we'll have some recap and statistics. So it'll be Brazil here on a second down and 13 from his own 45-yard line. Clock at 2:40. We're getting towards the 2-minute timeout. Brazil stepping up, and now he is going down again. And a couple of Bengals there, and let's see who the first man was.
Looks like Frank Kissick again, racking up the tackles.
Yeah, it was Frank Kissick. Well, we mentioned halftime, and coming up at the half, brought to you by Northern Quest Casino. We'll have stats and highlights, again, brought to you by Northern Quest Casino at halftime. So it will be a loss of a yard back to the 39. And that clock's just going to run down to the 2-minute timeout. And it will be a long third down play here for the Lincoln Oaklanders. But in the meantime, we'll take a break. 2 minutes left before the half. 69-0 Bengals. We're back after this timeout on KISU FM and ESPN+. 2 minutes left here in the first half. 69-0. Bengals on top. In case you're wondering, the most points the Bengals have scored, 77.
That's a full game, right?
I think that's full game. So
there's time to score, go get a 2-point conversion, tie it, tie it in the first half.
Oh, man, I'll tell you.
Declare the second half a no contest.
Most points scored in a half. Montana State put up 73. Oof. I think that's Big Sky numbers. Double check with our SID, John Match, who's rapidly flipping pages in the record book to look up scoring and other numbers, I'm sure, in this one. As Rob Brazil gets free, now fires a long pass downfield. It's going to be caught, and a nice play down there. And see who it was who hauled that in. That was Chase Cross, who caught that pass and gets the ball down to the Bengal 28-yard line. Trying to see, looks like we've got some reserve guys. There's Nigel Richards. We've seen him a little bit this season, but not as a starter. Davion Ross, also out there defensively as a defensive back for the Bengals. Frank Kissick, called his name 2 or 3 times today. He's actually lined up here on the end of the line, just a 4-down lineman on the defense for ISU on this first down play. Brazil gets free, pops to the outside. He gets to the 20, and then chased out of bounds on the far side. Chased out over there by. Just short of a first down at the 18-yard line. That was Janari Boone, I believe, that chased him out of bounds. Good. And we got a Bengal. So here's the run by Rob Brazil as he does get pushed out of bounds, and it was Janari Boone. Got a Bengal down, sitting on the turf out at about the 17-yard line. Again, looking more like a arm or a shoulder. That's Taylor Tuioti. Here's that long pass play by Brazil. Got it downfield to Chase Cross. Down inside the 30-yard line. So, you know, you give Lincoln credit. I mean, they're still fighting. Obviously, their big goal here, right, is maybe get a passing touchdown. Brazil has 0 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions on the season. Coming into the game, right. And so you know that Desmond Gums and this offense would like to have Rob Brazil have a little success. Brazil checking with his 3 receivers over here on the right side. Ball's on the far hash. Single wide out to the left. And Brazil on 1st and 10 from the Bengal 18-yard line. Flares a pass far side. It's going to be caught out there. Once again, that looked like Janari Boone made the stop.
That was a good check by Brazil there, seeing that Idaho State showing their hand in that boundary corner blitz, and just the receiver understanding that, you know, once his guy goes, he's going to turn and look for the ball and get an easy 8 yards.
And Terrell Jones caught that pass, and he goes right back out on that wide left side. Single wide out over there. This time Brazil, just a little dump pass, and this goes to Darrell Davis, and he's tripped up at the 10-yard line. Nice stop by Idaho State. But it's going to bring up 3rd down and just about a yard. The ball at the Bengal 9-yard line. 25 seconds left. Desmond Gums, no timeouts to play with here. Once again, they'll go single wide left, trips out to the right. Davis in the backfield off the left side of Rob Brazil. There is a pass caught. That one went to Seth Maldonado, but he's drugged down, and they're not going to get a playoff, I don't believe.
Shane's got a...
They got a first down, so the clock will stop. Now the ball is set. 7, 6, 5. Bengals got to be ready here. 3 seconds and 2. He spikes the ball with 2 seconds. So the Oaklanders will get 1 crack at the end zone here, barring a defensive penalty, of course.
only they had a timeout. They got rid of him so fast. They were just burning a hole in Gum's pocket there.
Yeah, he used
immediately.
Three timeouts in the first 10 minutes of the game.
I think it was 7 or 8. Yeah.
So here we go. 2 seconds left in the half. Bengals up 69-0. And Rob Brazil trying to get a touchdown here for the Oaklanders. Idaho State will get the ball to start the second half. Maldonado goes in motion. He'll dump the pass short. It's incomplete, and then a penalty flag comes in. Are they going to get roughing?
No, it's
major
a hold.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
It looked like 55 out there. Is the guy with his hands on his hips. And we don't have a 55 on our roster.
Yeah, he's not confused.
So that is a hold. That penalty is declined. And the teams will head to the locker room here at the ICCU Dome in Pocatello. Halftime. The home opener for Idaho State. It's 69-0 Bengals on top of Lincoln University. As we said, coming up at the half, we'll have some statistics and some highlights, so make sure you stick around for that. In the meantime, we'll be back after this timeout on KISU FM and ESPN+. and then the Bengals added 6 more. Zion Nunnally, an 11-yard pass from Jordan Cook in the second quarter. Mike Shulikov, another touchdown pass from Harsin. Raiden Brown caught the last 2 of the 6 second quarter touchdown passes from Harsin. 45 yards and 8 yards. ISU in the first half today has put up 368 yards on 32 plays, 170 on 40 plays.
On race day, things don't always go as planned.
I have to be on my game.
Because success goes hand in hand with mental toughness.
We all face challenges. The choice to be tobacco-free is one of them.
Perfect.
A healthier life is right around the corner.
You decide when. We'll show you how.
CJ, go ahead and run 60 here.
Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
So we're timed out perfectly.
For every night out, there's a
I
silver
keep saying
ride
CJ. I know you're there too,
for every
Lindbergh.
silver ride, you know who to call? The designated driver. Whether it's a ride share, the bus, or that super nice friend who's always got
so
your
we'll have
back.
some highlights.
Sober drivers get us home safe.
Okay. We'll
So
have
treat your
stats and
DD
then
to
some
an NA
highlights.
drink.
40,
And let's
40
raise a
seconds.
glass to the unsung heroes. Cheers to the DD.
We are back here at the ICCU Dome on the campus of Idaho State University. The Bengals of ISU playing their home opener here this afternoon for the 2025 season. 69-0 ISU with the lead over Lincoln University at halftime. I'm Scott Gross, former Bengal linebacker. Cody Graves, my partner here in the box. And Cody, really just exactly what you would expect as ISU has racked up the numbers, maybe more points than we thought, but numbers-wise, probably about where folks figured this might be, not necessarily at the half, though.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you look at these numbers, a 69-0 ball game, you know, you'd expect more than 368 total yards, but that's due to turnovers, special teams mistakes, and, but yeah, you're looking at a lopsided battle, to say the least.
4 turnovers by Lincoln led to 21 points for ISU. One of those was a touchdown by Aiden Garcia on a fumble, or on a high snap on a punt attempt that was recovered in the end zone. So the Bengals put points on the board with basically no yards. Then they had 2 or 3 short fields with fumbles and interceptions. And so ISU here with 17 first downs, just 8 for Lincoln. The rushing yards, you know, here's the question now. What does ISU do in this second half? Do they, I mean, we already know we expect to see a lot of the reserve players. And you'll probably see a lot of running plays.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at some of the highlights from this first half. The Bengals put up 10 touchdowns on the day. And the first one right here, a long throw from Harsin to Mike Shulikov got things started. That came at 7:44, and now this is Carson Sudbury. Now there's Sudbury right there as he spins away from a couple of tacklers. And Carson Sudbury out of South Jordan, Utah, he's really coming on as a running back here the last couple of days. Big pressure put on by the Bengals defense all afternoon. Here's the bad snap, and Aiden Garcia, Johnny on the spot for Bengals special teams. And then the toss to Dason Brooks. Good to see him back. We talked about he hasn't played since the first game, or since the first snap of the Southern Utah game. Dason got some good chances to work today.
Yeah, and got off to a little bit of a slow start, didn't break much, and had that touchdown. Then they came back to him the next drive, had a couple of long runs. You started seeing his feet and his ankles get underneath him, and you saw some of the hesitation, some of the jump cuts that make Dason a premier running back in the Big Sky. And I think it's good for him to get these reps as you go to the Big Sky.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Not much surprise. Montana big over Indiana State 63-20. Montana State now 4 wins in a row after their opening loss to South Dakota State. San Jose State and Idaho in the fourth quarter, and I'm showing just a minute to go in that one on my end. So the Vandals doing a nice job on the road. Northern Arizona, a close one down there in Flagstaff. Trying to see how much time is left on that one. About 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter there. So Incarnate Word, Northern Arizona, top 20 matchup. Eastern Washington 15-10 over Western Illinois. Northern Colorado, ISU's next opponent, on the road at Houston Christian with a lead 16-7. And in Cal Poly, Stephen F. Austin later tonight, and it'll be UC Davis hosting Southern Utah later tonight as well. So anyway, the Bengals really have done everything that most people would expect them to have done in this football game. And I don't know, there was talk at halftime, how do you run this thing? I mean, if the coaches agree, can you do a running clock? We don't know. Apparently they're going to go to 8-minute quarters, we're hearing, in our ear. So let's see. I have not heard of that. I would be interested to know where that came about. But the referees came in and talked to our director, John Young. And so we will have 8-minute quarters here in the second half. That is from the officials, 8-minute quarters in this second half. So this game is going to be over in a big hurry. We just received word that it will be 8-minute quarters. John Young, thank you very much. As ISU and Lincoln doing battle here this afternoon, and it may be over in a quick hurry as the Bengals put up 10 touchdowns, 6 in the second quarter, and lead at 69-0 here at halftime. Again, let's look ahead to next week. The Bengals will be in Greeley, Colorado to open Big Sky Conference play. That will be a 1 o'clock kickoff from Greeley. Idaho State coaches show replay at noon. ICCU pregame show at 1:30 or at 12:30 and kickoff at 1 o'clock. And now the officials have just made the announcement here in the ICCU Dome that these will be 8-minute quarters. So a lot of folks left at halftime anyway. So the ones that are here will still get to see some action. Idaho State University Athletics broadcasts are brought to you in part by the Idaho Immunization Coalition, reminding Bengal fans to talk with their healthcare providers about staying up to date on wellness, immunizations, staying up to date on wellness immunization. Serious diseases such as measles, mumps, rubella, polio, whooping cough, and flu can be preventable through vaccination. An immunized Idaho is a healthy Idaho. For more information, go to IdahoImmunizationCoalition.org. So the Idaho State Bengals up 69-0 will receive this touchdown, or this kickoff. And as you can tell, I'm even a little rattled up here. But, hey, I've never seen this rule.
No, I'm curious to know how many times this has been done in the last 20 years?
How about 30, 40 years?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a coach's decision and the officials came up with it. It was a squib kick, and it's going to be taken by Ian Duarte. And, boy, he took a big hit out there at about the 41-yard line, but pops right up. The Lincoln player actually was a little slower to get up, and nice job out there by the Bengals. Bronson Childs, very sportsmanlike, helped him up. So it probably will not be a running clock, but it is a 8-minute quarter, third quarter, 8-minute fourth quarter, and it was a penalty against both teams agreed, is what was just announced. So either way, the Bengals up 69. Look, this is smart. This is smart to do. You don't want a player hurt on either side in a game that's decided in the first 30 minutes. So now the Bengals will just come out, and most folks would say just run the ball. But they're going to throw on first down, a flare pass out here to the near side. And that's going to come to the Bengals, number 7. And we got some new guys that we're going to have to double check on for you. That's Giovanni Gardier, the transfer out of UTEP. Giovanni's been a little bit banged up too, and to get him some action today is big.
Yeah, a guy that we want to see more of, being a transfer that has a lot of talent.
And here's a run, and we'll double check the running back number. Is it 20, Titan Mason? And it is, the freshman. Titan Mason had a big impact in that New Mexico game.
The touchdown that put him up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Mason again, breaking free to the outside, breaks a tackle, stays on his feet, goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line, and that's a Mountain America Credit Union MACU first down. MACU helping guide members through life's financial journey and donating $50 to Operation Warm in East Idaho for every Bengal first down this year. So again, Davis Harson pretty much gone the whole way. Jordan Cook, and actually, yep, that is Harson. There is a touchdown pass to the far side, and touchdown Idaho State, and that will go to Aiden Garcia. So how about Aiden Garcia? He gets an ICCU touchdown on a special teams play on a bad snap. Now he scores offensively. The Bengals have put up 75 points here in 31 minutes and 15 seconds of game time. And that ICCU touchdown means Idaho Central Credit Union will donate another $200 to Bengal Athletic Boosters for scholarships, athletic scholarships here at Idaho State University. ICCU helping members achieve success and a proud supporter of ISU athletics. Let's take a look at this touchdown replay here as Harson drops back and just a touch pass to the end zone to Aiden Garcia.
Yeah, that just looked like routes on air there from number 3. Just corner route. Defender didn't get close.
So we got a break. 6:45 to go, third quarter. 76-0. Bengals back after this timeout on KISU and ESPN+.
Everyone needs a checking account, so get the one with built-in benefits for your unique lifestyle. Mountain America's My
Okay,
Style
we got
Checking
90
has
here,
perks
Lindbergh,
no one
90.
can pass up.
Enjoy sizzling restaurant deals.
Peace of mind mobile phone protection.
Timely telehealth services.
Confidence boosting identity protection.
And clutch loan rate discounts.
Make My Style your lifestyle.
At Mountain America Credit Union.
Bingham Healthcare is proud to be the #1 choice for healthcare in East Idaho.
But we didn't get here by accident.
We did it by providing excellence in everything we do.
Excellence in family care.
Excellence in orthopedics.
Excellence in weight loss.
And excellent service for everyone who walks through our doors.
See why Bingham Healthcare is the #1 choice for healthcare in East Idaho.
Bingham Healthcare. Experience excellence.
Says you made a decision.
Yeah, Idaho State Business School.
30 seconds.
Accounting.
What are you going to do with all that knowledge from ISU?
There's a company I'd like to help grow.
Some startup?
No, this one already has my last name on it.
I won't hold you to it.
You won't have to.
Five.
Mom says you made a decision.
Back here at the ICCU Dome, 76-0. Bengals score. 4 plays, 53 yards, a minute, 7 seconds. Aiden Garcia with his first offensive touchdown of the day. And Idaho State 1 point away from their all-time points scored record. We were told 77 by John Match. Associate Athletic Director and Sports Information, Director of Sports Information. Kickoff into the end zone, touchback, and it will be Lincoln coming out. First possession of the second half here from their own 25-yard line. Bengals now 421 yards of total offense here in this football game. If you're just tuning in, the Bengals led 69-0 at halftime. The teams agreed to have 8-minute quarters in the second half. That's why we are at 6:45 here after just beginning this third quarter.
I'm curious to see what Lincoln's plan is offensively, if they're going to run the ball and let this shortened down clock run even faster.
Well, they've got a new quarterback in there. That's Jay Carney III, and he throws to the far side, and that pass is complete.
Pass is complete to number 19.
That's number 19. That is Jacob Zarek with the reception from Jay Carney III. Carney on the year, just his 35th pass, his 12th completion. And now he's got an even 100 yards passing on the season with that 9-yard gain on first down. It'll be 2nd and 1. Bunch 3 receivers over there to the right or short side of the field now bring Zarek in motion here and then back to the far side. Back to throw, Carney, and that pass incomplete and low. Pretty good coverage down there by the Bengals. Janari Boone almost got a hand on that short pass as he kind of jumped the route. So it'll be 3rd down and 1 here. Clock is stopped at 6:02 of the third quarter. And Jay Carney taking just a moment here. Sanborn Melson in at cornerback here on the near side, number 26. Call his name out. Try to catch some of these reserve players who will see some action here in this half. Here's Darrell Davis with the run. He's tripped up by 3 or 4 Bengals, but not before he picks up the first down. Picked up 4 yards out to the 38-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Lincoln. Colin Lewis still out there on that defensive line. See Bo Jakes out there. Once again, Melson here on the near side. Davion Ross in defensively. Bengals come with some pressure. That's Ross on the blitz. Pass to the far side. Going to be complete from Carney to Jacob Zarek. And that'll give him a gain of 5 yards. So Noah Kalaikai gets the tackle there for Idaho State. Brings up a 2nd down and 5. Under 5 to go, third quarter. It was a pretty good crowd to start the day, but from halftime on here, not too many, or after halftime, not too many folks stuck around. Don't have an attendance number as of yet. Jay Carney stays in at quarterback. He'll work out of the gun. Boy, and that play looked crazy from the beginning. Looked like a false start. And Carney with the run, and he is buried at the 45-yard line. And laying the hit on him out there was the Bengals, Jackson Daniels. And it's good to see Jackson Daniels because the young man was hurt, and I'm pretty sure that was 4.
I think that's Devin Rodriguez, the Pocatello.
Oh, was it 9?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was going to say because Jackson hadn't been, he had been injured. So, yeah, that makes sense. The way he jumped up, I thought it was 4, but you're right. Devin Rodriguez said, he's made a name for himself here in the early going.
Yeah.
I think we called his name quite a bit at Southern Utah. So a short gain. It will be 3rd down and about 3 here for Lincoln. Jay Carney throws a pass, hit, dislodged. That time he tried to get it to his man Chase Cross and popped free, so it'll be 4th down. And it looks like the punt unit's coming out. Devin Rodriguez again with the stick. So way to be alert on that. That's what those 30-year younger eyes can do for you.
Yeah.
So Ian Duarte back deep to return this punt. He returned one 66 yards for what we thought was a touchdown back in the first half, but it was called back on a hold by the Bengals. As late addition. Did the Bengals get everybody off? I don't know if they did. I don't see a penalty flag. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the Bengals had too many men on the field. They had trying to get a sub in and a guy out, and it didn't happen. So that's should be enough for the first down here for Lincoln.
But it looked like Lincoln did not have all their guys on, which the substitution, they should stop it and let's
see what the white hat tells us before we go to break. Yeah. So it is a 5-yard penalty, and I believe we are going to go ahead and go to, well, nope, they did not go to the timeout. Okay, so we got 3:35 to go here. We thought we might get immediate timeout, but they said, nope, let's keep playing. So we will. And I have my spotting chart here, but quite honestly, I think the roster is going to be the way to go here because ISU got a lot of youngsters in there. And that's good because you never know when these guys might have to contribute later in the season if somebody goes down.
Good opportunity for these guys. And
Luke Berry in on that defensive line on the far side. Malik Richardson is in there on the defensive line. Got Brady Phillips, number 59, out there. So the 5-yard penalty by the Bengals will give Lincoln the first down at the midfield stripe. 1st and 10 there with 3:35 to go, and the Bengals up 76-0. Jay Carney this time on a little quarterback draw wants to run, and he'll probably think better of that next time. Once again, that looked like Devin Rodriguez leading the charge, and it was. This guy's got a motor that doesn't stop.
Yeah, and you can see it on special teams. Plays a lot of special teams. He's one of the first guys down there on kickoff every time, on punt. And a guy that, you know, homegrown, Pocatello High School, and is going to be a staple in this for this linebacker core moving forward.
Short gain, maybe a half a yard. We'll call it 2nd down and 9 for Lincoln. All on the near hash. A couple of receivers to either side for Carney, who's pressured. Dumps it off, and that's going to go to number 13, I think they said. And that is Makai Guy. We saw him earlier in the game. And Jacob Perez into the game. We've called his name a few times over the last couple of weeks, or last couple of games as well. He's made the most of some minutes. 2-yard loss back to the Lincoln 49-yard line. So make it 3rd down and 11 with 2:25 in the clock ticking here in the 3rd quarter. Mountain View Events Center, a multi-purpose facility in Pocatello for all things sports. Get more information at meceventcenter.com. So Jay Carney III on 3rd and 11. Dumps a pass off short. That goes to Seth Maldonado. He's hit immediately and then wrapped up by 2 other Bengals who came in to help. 4-yard pickup will make it 4th down and 7. And again, Lincoln will send out their punter, Owen Meister, with 1:40 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Between the Idaho State team that's playing some guys that don't normally get a play, and the possibility of the Lincoln players just switching jerseys with each other at halftime. This is going to be tough to get jersey numbers.
Now Owen Meister mishandled the snap, and he's going to be dropped and eventually tackled by Jacob Perez back at his own 45, and there's a Bengal down a little slow to get up. Looks like maybe got an ankle rolled up, and we've got a timeout coming up on the field here. So, 1:15 left in the 3rd quarter, 76-0 Bengals. We're back after this timeout on KISU and ESPN+.
Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky Conference. Brewed with the rugged spirit of the West. Jeremiah Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer. Do well.
We never set out to be the largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest. We just wanted to be the best. But we forgot that being the best means more guests wanting more action, more jackpots, more big-name entertainment, more pedicures. Well, more everything. Until one day, you look up and realize, we need a new hotel tower. The new River Tower, to be exact. Northern Quest in Spokane, Washington. Now the largest. And yes, still the best.
From the snowy peaks of the Rocky Mountains to the Golden Coast in the Pacific Northwest, we've blazed our own path forward. We've climbed to the highest peaks. We've reached this summit despite all odds stacked against us. Through consistent hard work and fiery competition on the field of play and in the classroom, we've held each other to a standard worthy of our namesake. We are the Big Sky Conference, where experience is elevated.
1st and 10 here for Idaho State. After the muffed snap on the punt attempt by Lincoln. Pressure comes, pass is dumped off, and it'll be a loss of yardage and might have a penalty flag in the backfield. Pressure put on in the backfield by Rodney Washington. So our Idaho Immunization Coalition player of the game this afternoon, I think it's a great choice. Running back for the Bengals, number 6, Carson Sudbury. And Carson on the day, tell you that he has carried the ball 9 times for 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a long run of 30 for his 2nd touchdown. Pretty good day for Carson Sudbury.
Both touchdowns were exciting touchdowns as well.
Indeed they were.
Got a hurdle, got probably between the two about 6 broken tackles.
Well, now you're starting to see a little bit here. There was a jump offside, and then the whistles were blowing, and Washington still came through and laid a hit on Sudbury that some would say, hey, you can hold that off. But not the case.
And that's coming right after a roughing the passer.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that the refs are making sure with calling that roughing the passer that they're not going to let this game get out of hand and not call things on Lincoln just because they're behind by 76.
Carson Sudbury again out of South Jordan, Utah, our player of the game today, sponsored by the Idaho Immunization Coalition. Well earned. So after the penalty, it'll be 1st down and 5. That roughing the passer did give the Bengals the 1st down. Here is a late toss. That's going to go to Brett Spencer. He breaks the tackle. Now gets to the outside, uses his speed to the 10. Finally shoved out of bounds down at the 6-yard line. But that'll be enough for another MACU 1st down. And here's penalty flags again behind the play. And now it is getting chippy.
Yeah.
And we've got 37 seconds left in this half. Or 3rd quarter, I should say. And let's wait on our officials to let us know exactly what it was. It looked like a dead ball. I'm pretty sure they're going to call this a dead ball penalty against Lincoln, but let's see. Logan Gonzalez checks in at quarterback. So there was an offside penalty that's declined, a dead ball unsportsmanlike on number 1, Jonathan Jordan. So that's his 1st. If he gets another, he's ejected from the game. But with only about 8.5 minutes left in this game, one would hope that he would not get another one. So Logan Gonzalez in here. Brett Spencer stays in the backfield for Idaho State. First chance we've seen to see Logan Gonzalez at quarterback, gives it to Spencer, steps out of a tackle, and then a late hit going to be put on in the end zone. A drag down tackle from behind by Daniel Gates. No flag comes down. Brett Spencer scores. Touchdown, Idaho State.
Yeah, I mean, you're just seeing it now.
Yeah.
Just a lack of caring from Lincoln's defense. You had the whole game to tackle the players for Idaho State. This is why you can talk about scheduling, why you would schedule a team like this if you're Idaho State, but this is just showing you. This is a very bad team, objectively one of the worst teams I've ever laid my eyes on.
So the touchdown by the Bengals gives them now 82 points, which we believe is an all-time record. And the extra point is up by Mason Lindbergh and good. So we have an 83-0 lead by Idaho State with 22 seconds left. This game broadcast is brought to you in part by Bear Lake Trailer Sales, offering new and used utility, cargo, and horse trailers, as well as sheds and truck beds for nearly 30 years. Scott Gross along with Cody Graves. 22 seconds left here. Bengals scoring drive. 45 yards in 2 plays, 53 seconds, and Brett Spencer twice on both his runs broke tackles from guys trying to grab him around the knee or lower leg area, and he just broke free.
Yeah, that's a former quarterback doing that to you, running over you like he's a power back. But
Brett Spencer is just an athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pure and simple.
And when he coming out of Weiser, Idaho, and he won a state championship at Weiser, played quarterback and middle linebacker for him, and he came after his mission, and he's from the same area that I am, and I watched him, and I genuinely thought if he came and played linebacker that he could be an all-Big Sky, all-American type guy at linebacker.
Jin Hyun Kang gets the opportunity to kick this ball away and gets it into the end zone. Jin, he was actually kind of brought in here as a punter, but they've been working with him on his kicking and so forth. And he's 6'2", he's a junior out of Arlington, Texas, played at Pantego Christian. And Jin, a very, very cordial young man. And I'm sure he's excited to get into his first big D1 action here today. So we got 22 ticks of the clock left here in the third quarter. The quarters have been shortened to 8 minutes each here in this second half. The Bengals lead it 83-0. 10 touchdowns in the first half, 6 in the second quarter. They put up 2 here in about 7.5 minutes. And here is a handoff to Darrell Davis, and he is swallowed up by over half of the Bengal defense, and the ball came out. And coming out of there with it, let's see if they're going to give him the football. It's Zion To'ota'o who comes out of there with it, but they said I think they're going to say his forward progress had stopped. So it's a loss of a yard, but Zion, nice play. Zion got into the game down at New Mexico, too. We had him in for a few snaps. And that's going to do it. Third quarter finished here at the ICCU Dome in Pocatello. Idaho State 83, Lincoln 0. We're back after this timeout on KISU-FM and ESPN+. Okay, we can go, you could actually go 2/3.
Have you decided yet? Yeah. Man, I'm gonna miss you. But I guess if you want to be a physical therapist, Idaho State's kind of the school, huh?
Yeah, I want to do research, and I can do that as an undergrad at ISU. I can even help publish papers.
I've got another year left, but let me know how it goes.
Do you even have what it takes to be a Bengal? Bengals are fast.
And they still let you in?
Mom says you made a decision.
Yeah.
Have you decided yet?
Yeah.
Everyone needs a checking account, so get the one with built-in benefits for your unique lifestyle. Mountain America's My Style Checking has perks no one can pass up.
Enjoy sizzling restaurant deals.
Peace of mind mobile phone protection.
Timely telehealth services.
Confidence boosting, identity protection.
And clutch loan rate discounts.
Make My Style your lifestyle.
At Mountain America Credit Union.
Bingham Healthcare is proud to be the #1 choice for healthcare in East Idaho.
But we didn't get here by accident.
We did it by providing excellence in everything we do.
Excellence in family care.
Excellence in orthopedics.
Excellence in weight loss.
And excellent service for everyone who walks through our doors.
See why Bingham Healthcare is the #1 choice for healthcare in East Idaho.
Bingham Healthcare. Experience excellence.
Mom says you made a decision.
Back here at the ICCU Dome, just ready to start the fourth quarter. It's 83-0 Idaho State. And if you're looking at the clock and you see 8 minutes and you're just tuning in, you're saying, what the heck? Well, both teams agreed to have 8-minute quarters in the second half after the Bengals led 69-0. The 83 points that Idaho State put up today is an all-time Holt Arena record. The record had stood since 1970, the season opener, the dome opener against UNLV. The Bengals won 64-34, and now we have the out-of-town scores. We'll take a look at those in a minute, but 83 points today, an all-time record in Holt Arena for Idaho State. And there is a pass complete up the far side. Ran away from the receiver. That was Chase Cross, I believe, 18.
And if you're just tuning in to see and just learning about the 8-minute quarters, my next question would be, why are you tuning into this game right now?
Yeah, why are you late? By the way, that was Trey Dimmings, the wide receiver on that catch, number 9. Good for 25. Yeah, where you been all afternoon?
Yeah, unless you just maybe wanted to see a shot at 100 points we put up.
Well, 83-0 here, Idaho State. And look, let's be honest. I mean, you get your reserves in there. They got to get their plays in as well. Jay Carney III wants to throw, now just runs to the sideline and tiptoes out of bounds. And there's a flag down.
It's going to be defensive holding. Saw it.
Malik Richardson was the man who chased Carney out of bounds over here on the near side.
Tough to stay in defense, scramble drill. Just grabbed onto the receiver.
So it'll go from the end of the run. It'll be enough for a first down for Lincoln. We've got 7:05 left in this game here this afternoon. Bengals on the road next week in Greeley, and 2 weeks from today, home against those Montana Grizzlies. Big Sky home opener for Idaho State in 2 weeks. Could be a fun one. So here's Carney for Lincoln. Swing pass far side, and man, did he leave his receiver unprotected. And I mean, coming in to make a huge play for the Bengals, and I'm trying to get the number. Yeah, it was 20 for Idaho State, and that was a huge hit put on by Jalen Brown. Woo. And let's see. And we are going to have a timeout here. Big hit. The Lincoln player is up and looks like he's okay. We'll check and let you know when we come back. Got a timeout here. 6:42 to go. Bengals up 83-0. Back after this on KISU and ESPN+. Bengals up big, 83-0 as we return here to the ICCU Dome. Previous play there by Jaylen Brown. They're taking a review on this to look at targeting. Cody Graves, your thoughts?
I say no. You have to have some element of leading with the crown and a launch. And at that time, I mean, he's seeing the ball flash in his vision there. I mean, it's not a great hit with just external factors as far as the receiver had to put his head down because he was going for the ball. I don't think it was malicious.
No.
I have a hard time seeing that was targeted.
Quite honestly, that hit is on Jay Carney, the quarterback. Really,
yeah.
He put his
receiver in
guy
a position.
in a bad position.
Yeah.
And Jaylen Brown just made a play. Now, we'll wait and see what replay thinks about it. They're going to show it to us again or on the ESPN side. And no, I agree. I mean, I know there's the element of defenseless receiver that plays into it as well, but
I mean, what are you going to do there? Because
again,
he's halfway going for the ball.
Yeah.
He sees it in his vision, and then sees he's not going to get there. He's going to make a play on the receiver, which he does. I'll have an issue if this gets
well. I can
called
tell you
as targeting.
From what I'm hearing in my ear, they're going to call it that way.
No.
But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. They're saying that it's going to be targeting on Jaylen Brown.
I mean, that's ridiculous. This is.
They're using the defenseless receiver thing, and I get that, but that's pretty tough.
You're gonna take a half away from a kid with that. That's where we are in today's game.
Right. That's a tough call. That's a tough one to take.
That's a penalty in today's game. Our grandfathers went to war, and that's a penalty.
Right.
Not my grandfather.
Right.
He was a pacifist, but
right.
Our collective grandfathers.
That's
royal we.
That's a little tough one to take there, and I mean, I know Cody Hawkins guarded against that. He didn't want that to happen, but I think even he would be in defense of Jaylen Brown there. That wasn't that egregious of a play. Not that it really matters, because getting in there to make the big play is Zion To'ota'o as he gets the sack on Jay Carney back at the 30-yard line. Support for ISU athletics comes from the Idaho Department of Agriculture and Invasive Species of Idaho, reminding Bengal fans that to tackle invasive species and protect Idaho's waters, every watercraft, including boats, paddleboards, and kayaks, must be cleaned, drained, and dried after every use. So it's going to be second down here, and let's call it 20 for Lincoln. Davis in the backfield. Jay Carney fires a pass. It's tipped and almost intercepted by the Bengals. Trying to pick up that was Trey Shorty, I think, 23. Yeah, it was Trey Shorty. A little surprised to see Trey still in there, starting nickelback, but it's third down here. We've got under 6 minutes to go in this football game. It's 83-0 Bengals. They've set an all-time scoring record, and we'll see if they add any more. I would be surprised, but who knows. There comes a big rush. Devin Rodriguez put on a big rush on the quarterback, Jay Carney. Pass was caught but out of bounds down there in the end zone by Lincoln. Carney really got that ball off under some heavy pressure.
Yeah, he did. Put it in a really good spot as well.
And credit Devin Rodriguez. He backed off. As he saw the ball leave, he backed off. Yes, he made contact, but he did not finish the tackle, if you will, or the hit. And so it will be fourth down here at about 20. Line to make, let's call it the Bengal 9-yard line. 5 minutes, 50 seconds to go here in the game. Bengals up big. Fourth down and 20. There's a crossing pattern. Pass complete to Seth Maldonado, and he'll be brought down. Finally, the stop made out there by the Bengals. And that was Irwin Jackson, linebacker number 18, making that stop. And so with the change of possession, we have a break. 5:44 to go in the game. Bengals up 83-0. Back after this on KISU and ESPN+. Okay, we got a 90 Lindbergh, And I've got all the live reads in, so we're good. I don't know if we'll have Buddy or anybody or not today for postgame. We might. I don't know if John talked to him. I haven't heard from Match.
San Jose State hit a field goal with time expiring, basically, to win it.
Really?
Yeah.
So San Jose State wins 31-28. Okay. "45 seconds. Okay. Okay. All right, where are we at? 30 seconds. 20. 15. Five minutes, 44 seconds left here in the football game. ISU with an all-time scoring record, leading this one 83-0 over the Oaklanders of Lincoln University. And it will be ISU with a first down at their own 22-yard line here. Let's see if Logan Gonzalez stays in at quarterback, and I assume that he will. Takes the snap. It is Gonzalez. Flares a little pass out to the far side, and that is incomplete. Was it a catch and a fumble?
That's what they're ruling, but I have a hard time believing that he ever had possession of that football.
Coming out of there with a football, and they're going to say it was a completed catch.
That was not.
And it will be Halim Butler, the man who came up with the fumble recovery. Well, I'd like to see a replay of that.
Maybe I'm wrong.
And see if that was a catch and a fumble. If so, it's the first Bengal turnover of the day. And that's not a catch.
Never had.
Nope. Yeah, we just saw the replay on the ESPN side for those of you tuned in to KISU, and even though we're 0 for 1 on reviews today, right? On the targeting call, we're 0 for 1, but we think we're going to get back to 500 here because that did not look like – he didn't make a football move, right?
No, it really never had any sort of possession that you could make the argument that he was going to make a football move, even if he had possession for a millisecond. It's just not.
I don't think that ball ever got tucked. And don't you have to take 2 steps or at least make the move?
2 steps was the old – kind of adage for if it was a catch and a fumble, and now it's a football move if they have time to make a football move. And I don't know why you would put something so subjective on it, because then it's up for interpretation of what a football move is. But I think under any interpretation that's just an incomplete pass.
Well, if they rule that an incomplete pass, it would be 2nd down and 10 for Idaho State. I believe the line of scrimmage was their own 22-yard line. We've got 5, and they are going to overturn it. 5:37 left here in the football game. So it's actually, they're going to spot it at the 22-yard line. Idaho State will have the football. 2nd down and 10, leading at 83-0. Each team with, and they said he never had possession. So it's incomplete, and the Bengals will keep the football. Again, next week, 1 o'clock kickoff from Greeley, Colorado. ISU and Northern Colorado open Big Sky Conference play. Got late score, and we'll talk about these more a little bit later on, but San Jose State basically kicked a buzzer-beating field goal and beat Idaho this afternoon 31-28. Vandals playing some pretty good football.
Yeah.
They really are. They played Wazoo close in their first one.
Yeah, we don't
had
know
a chance to win that one.
Yeah, we don't know how good Wazoo is.
Well,
they went
right.
down and killed by North Texas.
And they're playing Washington right now in the Apple Cup. Here is a run and taking that carry. Another new man in the backfield for Idaho State. And that is Zach Homan, number 24. Good to see Zach getting his first action of the year out of Santa Rosa, California. Double wise to either side here for Logan Gonzalez. Once again gives it to Homan, and Homan just breaks it up the middle, and he'll get out to the 39-yard line. And that's another MACU first down. And Zach Homan comes up a little sore there. I don't know if he's got a cramp or kind of the way he got drugged down there. So let's see who they run into the backfield. And who will they have in the backfield? We'll check it here in a moment. 3 receivers out to the right for Gonzalez. Ball's on the near hash. 1 receiver here to the near side. Here is the handoff. And that looks like Titan Mason. Did they run him in there? If he'll turn, I can see his jersey.
27.
Oh, 27. Okay, well, that's fine. I've got them too. Except I don't have a 27 as a running back for Idaho State. So we have a mystery man we'll have to try to figure out post game with a nice run there. Picked up about 5, almost 6 yards out to the 45-yard line. Under 4 minutes left in this football game. Here's a swing pass, comes over here to the near side. It's going to be completed, and the pass caught by Julian Mason. Juice's first catch of the day.
Juice has been a little quiet the last couple games after a couple of big catches.
You're right. Still kind of working his way back in there, I think. You know, the thing of it is, I mean, you have that bye week and you kind of forget sort of what, I mean, you kind of lose some of that momentum if you're a guy like Juice, right? Here's the handoff again, and this is going to go for a touchdown, I think. That's 27 again to the 15 to the 10, and he'll be pushed out of bounds. Just could not break away from that final defender. They say that's Titan Mason. Now, Titan Mason started the day with number 20, but our PA man, Neil Larson, says it's Titan Mason.
Yeah, he's got the jersey number of 27. It's not
Does
his
the name still say Mason on the back?
It's Wilson.
Okay.
So he might have borrowed.
Well, that's Jalen Wilson. The cornerback is 27. So maybe his 20 jersey got torn or ripped or something. They couldn't replace it in time. So we'll say Titan Mason. And here's Logan Gonzalez with a keeper. Looked like maybe a little bit of a broken play. But on 1st and goal, from the 8, he picks up 3 yards down to the 5, and that should take us to the 2-minute timeout. 2:15, the clock ticks down. Idaho State up 83-0, an all-time scoring day. And we will have a timeout. Coming up in our postgame show, we'll have Bengals safeties coach Bobby J joining us on the radio side. So here we go. 2 minutes left, 83-0. Bengals on top. We're back after this timeout on KISU and ESPN+. 2 minutes left here in Pocatello. The Idaho State Bengals are going to pick up their first win of the 2025 season in convincing form. They're up 83-0 now. They have a 2nd and goal from the Lincoln 5-yard line here at the 2-minute mark. Logan Gonzalez in at quarterback. The number doesn't match, but we believe 27 to be Titan Mason, who originally started the game and has all season been number 20. And it's going to be a run, and Titan Mason will be stopped shy of the goal line at about the 1-yard line or less, down to 1:50. Ball right at the goal line here. Where's the line in the sand for perception of too much? Is that put nicely? How'd you like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either.
8-minute quarters, that was your chance. Oh.
Well, now you got an offside, which doesn't really matter.
Take your chances.
Yeah, if you time it up right, maybe you can get in there and break something up. Jumping offsides there was Rodney Washington, cornerback coming in on a blitz.
Get a Troy Polamalu highlight just for a 1 inch of penalty.
Right. Wasn't very much, I can tell you that. 1:22 left here, as Idaho State on the doorstep of their, 13th touchdown of the day. They led the nation in first downs coming into the day, and they've added 25 more today.
That'll help.
Yeah. So on second down, we should say, in goal. And they were 11th in the nation, first in the Big Sky Conference in first downs. So it's a 10-second runoff. So it goes to 1:12. Yeah, the Bengals, first in the Big Sky Conference, 11th in the nation in first downs. They had 70 coming into the day.
So you're telling me if they didn't want them to score another one, they could just go offsides every time and another 10-second runoff, 10-second runoff?
I suppose. But instead, they're going to give it to Titan Mason. It'll be a touchdown for Idaho State, another ICCU touchdown. 89 points on the board here today for the Idaho State Bengals, as they have been in control of this game from about 5 minutes into it. Actually, yeah, about 4 or 5 minutes into it. And they have just been rolling from then to now. Here is Sinatra with the extra point. It's up and good. 90-0, Idaho State with 1:03 to go here in the football game. That drive recap. They say Jalen Wilson. That's who they put in there on the stat sheet, but we'll have to double check it.
That'll be a post-game correction.
I think it will be. Anyway, it was a 9-play, 78-yard drive that took 4 minutes and 41 seconds. And now if you're Desmond Gums, look, it's simple. You just want to get off the field.
Get back on the bus.
Yeah, get and head home. So
get working.
They've got a Thursday game in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Lincoln does.
Thursday game?
Thursday, a short turnaround. So they'll basically have about 2.5 days to recover from this. They have a very small roster, maybe 50 guys.
Looking down, their travel squad, it's slim, and talk about underfunded. Even just looking out at warm-ups on the field with how much support staff, Idaho State has compared. You saw maybe 4 or 5, and that's including all personnel.
Jin Kang will kick off. It'll be fielded by Cross at the Chase Cross at the 5-yard line. And be brought out to about the 15. So 54 seconds left here. Coming up at post game. Stick around here. We'll have some video highlights and some statistical numbers, a couple of looks at today's game. And then if you stay with us on the radio side, safeties coach for the Idaho State Bengals, Bobby J, is set to come and join us for a short conversation. And then the Bengals will look at film and get ready to head to Greeley for a game next Saturday to open the Big Sky schedule against Northern Colorado at 1 p.m. And got a penalty flag down. Jay Carney III still stays in at quarterback. Got a false start on Lincoln. As they'll back them up 5 yards to about the 10. And Jay Carney will set up shop there now, 1st and 15 with 54 ticks of the clock left. Gives the handoff. And that's a...
It's good to see Malik Richardson.
Yeah.
Richardson back. He played some really good snaps a couple years ago before getting injured, and really liked the way he moved on the interior, because as an interior D lineman, he is super athletic.
He really is.
And I think he's tailor-made for this 40 front and being that 3 tech. I think come the end of the year, I think you're going to hear a lot from 94.
Makai Guy was the man who carried that football for Lincoln for 3 yards. This should be the final snap of the football game. Play clock to 7, game clock at 13. They give it to Guy again, I believe. He's going to be wrapped up, and that's going to do it. The Bengals set an all-time scoring record here in the ICCU Dome today. They defeat the Lincoln Oaklanders 90-0. A game that really on paper we knew could be this much. I don't think anybody really thought it would get to 90. I had someone jokingly ask me earlier today, can the Bengals hang 100? Well, if they'd have played two full 15-minute quarters in the second half, it very well could have happened.
I could have. I think it might have got closer to about 115, 120.
Right.
Realistically.
Well, look, you got to give a lot of credit to what Desmond Gums is trying to do at Lincoln University, but there are just certain matchups that just don't work.
Yeah.
And this was one of those. He probably knew coming in what he was up against, but wow.
Yeah, and I think that it shows you that you have to fully commit to having a football program. That with the amount of funding you have to have, you can't go halfway. You have to be all in on the funding. It's an expensive sport, and this just shows you, to be competitive, how much money needs to be put into a football program.
Let's take a look at our Idaho Immunization Coalition player of the game. We mentioned him earlier, but we want to bring it up again. It is Carson Sudbury, the redshirt freshman out of South Jordan, Utah. 75 yards on 8 carries, a long of 30, 2 touchdowns today. And Carson Sudbury becomes our Idaho Immunization Coalition player of the game. This is his first touchdown run where he hurdled a man, but the 30-yarder, there were a couple of great moves in that as well, and this is going to take a look at this one. Just finds the gap, and boy, he put his foot in the ground right there, Cody. That's big-time running back play.
Yeah, and how he was able to accelerate outside of that spin is very impressive.
And I think instead of Bobby J, we might have our running game coordinator, Jake Thomas, joining us. So we'll be able to, in our radio post game, we'll talk about Carson Sudbury. Big numbers today for Idaho State, as we said. They put up 13 touchdowns. The only blemish of the day was the missed extra point on the first touchdown when the snap was mishandled by the holder. And that was the first missed extra point of the year for Trey Sinatra. Let's take a look at some of the statistical numbers from this game today, as Idaho State really did what was expected. And so we should get some statistical numbers up here for you. In the meantime, once again, quick reminder, Jake Thomas is going to join us on the postgame show momentarily on the radio side. Next week on the schedule for Idaho State, they will have a 1 o'clock kickoff at Northern Colorado. And here are some of the out-of-town scoreboards, and you see that San Jose State-Idaho score. San Jose State with a late field goal wins that game 31-28. So Idaho with a tough loss there. Northern Arizona holds off Incarnate Word. Listen, the Lumberjacks might be pretty legitimate. I mean, they were number 17, I think, coming in this week. You knock off another top 20 team, they'll move up a spot or two probably.
Yeah, and realistically, they're the only team in the Big Sky that has the returning starter at quarterback that was very good. The Big Sky Newcomer of the Year last year, and he's coming in, hitting the ground running. There's high expectations down there in Flagstaff, and they are living up to it at the moment.
Northern Colorado leads Houston Christian 17-14 in the third quarter on the road. Cal Poly is at Stephen F. Austin. They're up 10-7 in the third quarter. No surprise, Montana big over Indiana State. Montana State with an easy win over Mercyhurst, 17-0. Eastern Washington at halftime leads Western Illinois 27-17. The only other game not on the schedule that you're seeing there is tonight at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Utah Tech is at UC Davis to take on the Aggies. So pretty good slate of games today in the Big Sky Conference. The big one obviously was Northern Arizona and Incarnate Word, and a nice win there for the Lumberjacks. And let's take a look now. We've got them up. Let's take a look at our final statistics on the day. 281 yards rushing for Idaho State, 240 through the air, 521 total. They were 11th in the nation, second in the Big Sky Conference in total offense coming into the week at 434 yards. So that'll bump them up there. 25 first downs for the Bengals to just 13. 7 rushing yards today for Lincoln University. But, Cody, that number's probably skewed a little because when that game got out of hand quick, Lincoln had to throw. They couldn't run.
They probably should have ran it, but, yeah, getting behind like that, you gotta throw the ball. And, you know, Idaho State over the last 3 games has struggled with stopping the run and, you know, gave up big numbers in that category. And, yeah, this game is what it is, and you can't take the numbers, but stop the run.
13 touchdowns on the day for Idaho State. Let's take a look at the last 3 of those touchdowns. This one, a run there by, that was Brett Spencer who scored on that one, right? And here's the touchdown pass to Aiden Garcia, and then the final score, Titan Mason, even though he changed his number, right? Oh, it's Matt Mason. Oh, it was Matt Mason. We just found out. Jake Thomas just told us because the only 27 we had was Jalen Wilson. So Matt Mason, Titan's older brother, gets the final touchdown of the day for Idaho State. And see, it pays to have connections with the Bengal coaching staff up here in the press box. So 90-0 Bengals win it this afternoon. They'll be on the road next week in Greeley to take on Northern Colorado. That is a radio only for the Bengals here, for you Bengal fans. And then 2 weeks from today, we're back here at home. The Bengals will be at home to take on the Montana Grizzlies, and that is a later start. That'll be a 6 p.m. kickoff on that game because of a television broadcast. But nonetheless, Bengals win it today, 90-0. Want to thank our entire ESPN crew, Dave Hughes, John Young, and everybody else. And from my partner, Cody Graves, I'm Scott Gross saying your final score once again. It's 90-0. Bengals over Lincoln. That's it from Pocatello. So long, everybody.